Hello everyone and welcome to the High Roller Super Million Season 2 Week 21 already. Or as you guys can see, I am not joined by Nanonoko today. Unfortunately, Nano couldn't make it because his little daughter is a bit sick and he hasn't been able to get a whole lot of sleep. So obviously all best wishes, Nano. Hopefully she recovers as soon as possible. I believe everything is going all right, but Nano said that he's been having very little sleep and he wanted to make sure that everything would be okay at home. But Nano should be back next week. However, we found an excellent replacement for Nano, and that is the one and only GTO commentator, Henry Kilbane. What's up, Henry? How are we doing tonight?
Hey, man. Well, firstly, yeah, thank you for the kind introduction, and obviously, secondly, speedy recovery to Nano and his family. I'm sure they could turn things around in that house, Rotty. As Nano's known for running well, so hopefully it's nothing, just a cold.
Yeah, no, I think he's in pretty good spirits because he even tried to sell me some NFTs right before we went live. So, guys, I think Nano's doing all right. I think the little girl's doing all right as well, but obviously rather safe than sorry. We still have an absolutely amazing final table for you guys tonight, though. But as you guys know, this is our pre-show, and you guys have 9 minutes left to place some final bets when it comes to final table betting. I am not able to place any bets on the final table from the Netherlands, but I do believe Henry has been getting into the streets. So let's talk about that. These are the 9 players that have made it to our final table. This time we don't have 8. Last week we only had 8 because poor Patrick Leonard busted in the absolute final hand before we made it to the final table. This time we've got a full lineup. And what a lineup it is. I mean, I don't even know where to start. So let's start off with you, Henry. Tell me, what have you been betting on, mate?
Yeah, so firstly, I didn't know it was actually a requirement to do the commentary. It was to also wager some bets. So I was double excited when I found out that I'd be betting on this final table. Obviously, just like at a first glance, very stacked final table, some big names. Thomas Muehloecker has been around for years. Like one of the OG Austrian grinders, used to hang out with all of the big names, Phil Gruesome, and like some of the OG Austrian and German crew. But you know me, Rotty, I'm not just going to go straight for the guy at the top, right? I think this kid, Ottomar Ladver, 23 years old, has been crushing it for the last 2 years, burst onto the high stakes scene at the start of this year. And he's there with 33 bigs in a bit of an ICM cage, but at that price, I just had to have a little bet on Ladver. I think, he finds a double early up, early on. He's up to 65, 70 bigs, and that kid with chips is very dangerous. And then Timothy Adams, Rotty, I saw his name. He's the first. I didn't care how many chips he had. I didn't care what price was being laid. Timothy Adams on a final table with, more than 10 big blinds. I've got some money on him. And yeah, I mean, either of those two, like I said, in a bit of an ICM cage with Graphical on 6.7 bigs and Alex on 8.8. They're going to have to be very cagey, but if they do get that early double, I think those odds are a very fair price for both of those guys, especially given what they've been doing over the last couple of years.
Yeah, I like that you mentioned that because we often obviously have one short stack, but most of the time our short stack still has more than Alex Colonia. So today we have 2 incredible short stacks making it to this final table. They must have had like less than 1 big blind when it dwindled down to the final 9, because obviously we rolled the blinds back once we make it to the final table. But I'm kind of with you, man. I know that you don't watch every single week, but Nano already gets annoyed by how much I fanboy over Ottomar Ladver. He actually won our very first edition of Season 2, and it was one of the best performances I've seen in like 60 or 70 weeks. The man just did not make a mistake. He played as close to perfect poker as possible, and obviously nothing is ever perfect, but it was mind-blowing. And then I kept talking about Ottomar Ladver to Nano. I was like, man, I want Ottomar Ladver to make another final table. He's so good. He's like, yeah, can you shut up? I was like, no, I really want him to make another final table. Then 3 or 4 weeks ago, he finally makes another final table. Obviously, I picked him to win it. And he did win it again. It was sick. He played phenomenal once more. Last week, I believe he made it to our final table, or 2 weeks ago. He didn't win it, but he did look good as always. So I can absolutely get behind that. And if I was able to do final table betting, mate, we would have been in the same boat because I would have also thrown a couple chips at Ottomar. I went for Thomas Muehloecker this week because what Thomas has been doing in the High Roller Super Millions over the last 6 or 7 weeks is ridiculous. It's back to back final tables every week, Henry. The man makes a final table every single week. I do believe he fired 5 bullets this time to get there, but hey, if you fire 5 bullets, but you come into the final table as chip leader, seems like a reasonable investment to me.
Yeah, I mean, Muehloecker just hasn't been someone to sleep on for the last decade. Like I said, you know, one of the young guns back in the early parts of last decade that just really kind of cemented his place within the poker world pretty early on in his career. And for someone like him to come from that era to continue transitioning through the solver era and performing at the highest level is very commendable. And to see him on top here, you know, it's not a name that shocks me. And to hear you saying that as well, that he's just been, you know, crushing it week in, week out, is also not surprising at all. The guy is very, very talented.
And he always plays for the win. I mean, Thomas Muehloecker is not one of these guys. Even if he comes in 7th or 8th place and there are a couple of short days, he's not going to sit there and wait. If he feels like it's the right moment to go, he will go. Now, if you come in with a short stack, that obviously means it could be an early exit. Today, I am not expecting an early exit as he comes in with 3.6 million chips. But of course, it would be literally a criminal offense in some countries if we don't talk about Niklas Astedt. He is Nanonoko's pick of the week. Lena is the MVP of season 1. Well, second, actually. Mr. Gamble took it away from him in the absolute last episode. But Niklas is ridiculous. Season 2, I want to say it's been a little less hot. But then he's already won it twice. He literally won it twice in 21 episodes. So maybe it's not final table after final table for Niklas. But 2 victories in season 2, just like Ottomar Lotva, obviously means Niklas is doing well, to the surprise of, I think we can say, absolutely nobody, right?
That's definitely one way of putting it. He's very consistent, and again, another one of those guys, Roy, that I couldn't agree more. Yeah, it should be illegal to not even mention him on the betting odds, coming in with, you know, a very healthy stack. That's the thing though with these, you know, Rotty, like for us mere mortals, you know, looking at the elite, it's very different. It's very difficult for us to sit here and kind of, you know, try and think, okay, these guys, they're playing at the highest level, but who has the edge in these 10Ks? Who doesn't? You know, in this spot with this lineup, Muehloecker on 90 bigs, you know, is he the type of chip leader that's going to play the ICM situation well, or is he going to be making mistakes, you know? And yeah, I'm curious to see those middling stacks there, Ladva, Adams, and especially Elio Fox kind of, you know, comfortably in 4th, ahead of the rest of the pack. Who's going to go after it? Like you said, who's going to play for the win? These guys are showing up week in, week out. So not to say that the money doesn't mean anything to them, but these guys will take those spots. Like you said, they're not going to be folding, you know, pocket 7s for 20 big blinds. You know, they're happy to get it in. And yeah, it's going to be a fun one.
I do want to give a little shout out to Alex Colonius as well. He's not like an ultra regular to our final tables, but Nano has hyped him up in the past. I know that he crushes cash games at the highest level. And he did win it twice in season 1. And obviously, he's also a guy that's going to play to win. He's not going to sit there and go down to 1 big blind. So I actually think like we're 41-1. If I was able to do some final table betting on Nanonoko, I think for fun, I'll put $10 on Alex Colonius just in case. Because if he gets it in like 3-way and he wins, he's actually incredibly good as well. And 41-1 is some of the highest odds I've ever seen. And it's not even the highest at this table. But I know it's a long shot, you know. Thomas Muehloecker has him out-chipped 11-1, but it's still Alex Colonius, and I am a low-key fanboy of him as well.
Well, why are you tempting me now? You see, this is what happens, Ray. You started to speak sense to me, you know. But yeah, I mean, looking at his resume, obviously, yeah, world class on the live felt and plays very high stakes online, as you mentioned, cash games. Yeah, I mean, should we do it, chat, just for the spin? Should I get some money on him? I mean, why not?
It'd be exciting, mate. It'd be exciting. 41-1 is not something you see every week.
Come on, then. Let's get it on. Why not? Jeez.
So a tradition that I have, Henry, is as we have 1 minute left, if I give you $100 right now, how would you divide that $100? That's something I always ask to Nano. What do you think is the best way to spend $100 on final table betting with these odds? And you got to make it quick because we only have 1 minute left.
Okay, I think money goes up top. You know, Muehloecker, Niklas, you know, $30 each, and then some of these longer shots. I think just world-class players, Adams, Ladva, and now you know you got me looking at Colonius as well. That 40-1 shot. I've got a bit of money on him. I'm going to be sweating at this final table, you know. I mean, this is going to be a fun sweat. I could potentially win, you know, 4 figures right here on stream. So yeah, that's how I would. I'd have like some small numbers on some of the longer shot ones, and then yeah, obviously a bigger portion of my $100 on Muehloecker and Lena.
All right. Well, final table betting is officially closed as it's 7 p.m. in Europe, and that means that we can no longer place any bets. The cards will go up into the virtual area in 30 minutes from now. So now we enter our actual pre-show, where we're going to take a look at the 9 profiles of our players that made it to the final table. We'll take a look at some of their most noteworthy hands as well on the journey to this final table. But first, Henry, I just want to hear from you because I haven't seen you in so long. Where are you right now? How has life been for you? I know you've had a couple of big scores in the past online. Did we blow it all, or are you still doing all right?
Did we blow it? I mean, yeah, I'm glad that's the first thing that came to mind, mate. It's been an interesting year for sure. We're currently in Phuket, Thailand, working on a kind of like esportsy poker brand. Just filming a bunch of content, lifestyle content, behind the scenes and what it takes to, you know, make it to the top in the poker world. Kind of on like a boot camp, if you will. We've just got a massive villa here in Phuket, running sims, going to the gym, just getting ready for some of the big series coming around the corner, which, by the way, for those of you that have slept on it, there is a big series coming around the corner on GG as well. I think in like 5 days' time. So yeah, just really kind of just grinding, you know, just working on my game, on myself and the brand, and trying to do something different. I think we're the first people to ever try and do something like this, first group of like poker players, and it's had its ups and downs. One of the main highlights was obviously Espen made the final table of the World Series of Poker main event on GG. We broke the Twitch world record, so that kind of got us off to a flying start. And now it's just trying to figure out, you know, what the people want to see, what kind of content we can put out there that's not already being, you know, released by the other content creators in the space. So it's a fun experiment.
Sounds like you're busy, mate. Sounds like you're getting involved in a lot of things, but sounds like a good time. All right, let's just go ahead and kick off our pre-show then. And we're going to kick things off with the beautiful profile of Thomas Muehloecker. My pick of the week. I don't think you can ever go wrong with predicting this man to win it. I mean, we often talk about whether profiles are beautiful or not. This profile is incredibly beautiful. The only thing, Nano, sorry, and force of habit, mate. The only thing, Henry, is the bottom right side. It's good, but for the amount of final tables that Thomas Muehloecker has made, we're expecting a 4-star, right? It's just a matter of time before he finally ships a high roller Super Millions. I think today is the day. That's the only thing that's really missing here.
Okay, I really like this. So you've got like a full layout of GGPoker winnings, ITMs, and you're saying, in the bottom right. Okay, I see what you're talking about. So he's got a second is his like best result in terms of position. Wow. Okay, that's very interesting. Yeah, that's not a stat that I would have suspected. Oh. So if you were a betting man, you would have bet on Muehloecker. Yeah, he's yet to come in clutch.
Absolutely. Like you can see as well, he has made 9 final tables already in season 2 alone. We've only had 21 editions, so he makes final table almost 1 out of every 2 weeks. And in those 9 final tables, he's had multiple back-to-back final tables. I feel Thomas is crushing it at this point. He clearly is a champ. As you guys can see in the top right, has had a lot of big finishes. The one thing that's missing is a little high roller Super Millions victory. And I think today is the day. He was dedicated, fired 5 bullets, but he came into the final table as chip leader. So let's go ahead and take a look at one of the hands that Thomas Muehloecker had. At the 1 bullet where he decided to finally run it up all the way to the top. And Henry, I'm glad that you're with me, because I looked at this hand and I'm like, Nanonoko, where are you? I need you, because I don't know what is happening. Talk to the people at home and why does Thomas play his 5 deuce like this?
Yeah, so defending pre at this stack depth, I believe, started off around 23 bigs. You know, for me, it's very questionable. Thomas Muehloecker is one of the best in the world. He could get away with defending pretty much close to range from the big blind. Decides to go for the check raise on the 9 tray board with 1 spade. Obviously, really nice hand to do it with. Has all of the 3s in his range. X-Fang has close to none. or if any, actually. I think it's safe to say he has none. And just going to apply a ton of pressure on those, you know, non-heart ace queens, ace jacks, ace tens, as well as some of the suited broadways that just completely whiff. And also with 5 deuce of spades, the nice thing is you can pick up a bunch of equity on a lot of turn cards, right? 4, 6, even an ace and a spade you can continue barreling on and applying pressure on hands exactly like this ace jack, ace queen, ace king. All of these hands are just going to have a tough time to get to showdown. And yeah, river's really interesting when we B25 on the turn. So I think he bet like 25% on the turn. Once Van calls, it's kind of dicey. Range is going to be a lot narrower. Going to have like ace king, ace queen, ace jack with the heart, and then obviously all of the overpairs that we're just crushed against, as well as some flushes. But yeah, I mean, X-Fang just deciding that his ace jack has enough showdown. I don't know how I feel about the check behind with the ace jack. I just don't think Muehloecker ever knuckles any non-showdown type hands. I don't think he has many give-ups when he check raises flop. All of his natural check raises, such as like 5 deuce, 6-5, 6-4, some of the hands that can turn straight draws, they all pair up or make straights by the river. But those like 6-4, 6-5s that you can just fold out, I think X-Fang could have potentially turned his hand into a little bluff ski there. But hey, Muehloecker got the check mark on the turn, and yeah.
Wins a pretty big one, right? I mean, I gotta say, nice call on the flop though by X-Fang. He wasn't really buying it, and he was correct on the flop. Perhaps a little unlucky that Thomas did pair up on the turn, but maybe then the hand would have played out in a different manner. Still a fun one. Thomas Muehloecker getting the job done. Let's go ahead and move on to the profile then of X-Fang, a man who is representing the Estonian flag. He is the only satellite player to make it to our final table tonight. He played a 1K satellite, made it in. He did play 5 times in the High Roller Super Million Season 1, but apparently has never cashed. This is his 3rd time trying in Season 2. He has also never cashed. Has a couple of decent scores on the right side, but if you look at his GGPoker winnings, this guy seems to be a grinder, Henry. He clearly plays a lot, because he got up to 2.4 million without any monster scores.
Yeah, that's a guy that is just clearly putting in a ton of volume. And when you're grinding your way into 1K satellites, you're putting in the work off the felt. Like you're clearly studying the game and looking to improve and move your way up. They're not your typical random shot takes that you get. These 1K satellites aren't easy. There's some very competent players in there, obviously. So yeah, I love these kind of graphs. It's just someone that is just clearly grinding and putting in work, and maybe a screen name for us to keep an eye on as well, Rotty, over the next 6 months or so. Let's see what this guy can bring to this final table.
Well, let's go ahead and take a look at one of the hands that Mr. X-Fang had on his journey to his first final table in Season 2, where he had them aces, and he just called pre-flop from the big blind. Just calling them aces. Are you fond of this play, Nanonoko or Henry? Yeah, again, that's going to happen a lot, mate. It's been 70 weeks of...
Any bets on how many times? How many times? Under overs on 15, chat. How many times Ryan's going to call me Nano? Yeah, interesting. Pre-flop stacks. Sorry, let me just quickly do rough math in my head. So what is it? It's like 17 bigs effective. I think with Christian Rudolph, that is the Christian Rudolph, right? Going to be wider than most of 17. Very, very competent player. And a very aggressive reg as well. So when it comes to players like Rudolph, who are going to be wider pre-flop, I think trapping makes a lot more sense. Whereas typically looking at like a 13 to 17 big blind stack, not as many people are going to have raise folds off of that stack depth, and that's where I would say, look, hey, no need to slow play. aces, chances are, if Rudolph, if X player's opening off 15 bigs, they're just getting it in. But Christian's definitely good enough to have raise folds off this stack depth. Then, case in point, 3-betting pre, Rudolph would have ended up folding. Check calling, obviously, on the flop. Oh no, check raises on the flop. Okay. Well, I mean, worked out perfectly, right? We set the trap.
It worked out perfectly. Obviously, Chris flopping the flush draw decided to go for it. I think the hand kind of speaks for itself. Well done, though, by X-Van. Absolutely getting max value out of his aces here. So we're going to move on as we have 7 more profiles to cover. Let's take a look at one of the most beautiful profiles you're ever going to see, Henry. These days you can get trophies in your little trophy case as well when you click on someone's name at GG. This man has arrows, okay? Because you can keep scrolling through the amount of trophies he's been winning over at GGPoker. Most people have like 1 trophy, 2 trophy. Niklas instead has arrows that never end. I mean, look at the bottom right. It's absolutely ridiculous. Lena 900 is one of the biggest crushes we have in the High Roller Super Millions. First. And the one he obviously won on April 11th was a massive one, too, over $1 million. Is there anything that we can say about Niklas that we haven't said yet?
I don't think there is. I think it's just a player bio that you just have to look at and admire. Rotty, 14 million in GGPoker winnings. Came, what's that? Ranked number 2 in season 1.
That is correct. Just behind Mr. Gamble. Mr. Jay Anderson.
Mr. Jay Anderson. Okay. All right. And yeah, as you already pointed out, 3 first places. I mean, is that the only first places he's had?
No. He's got more. That's the problem with Niklas. He's got.
I was gonna say,
yeah. I believe he won it 3 times in season 1, and I think he's won it twice so far in season 2, which is a shared record among a few. Ottomar Lotva being one of them, and I think 1 or 2 others have also won it twice already in season 2. Let's just go ahead and take a look at one of the hands that Mr. Niklas Astedt had on his journey to this final table, and this is actually a cool one. I look at the river bet and I'm like, oh, Niklas, you're such a gangster, and I love it. What do you make of it?
Okay, so yeah, just EP open. Check. Yeah, I mean, this is just like pure Niklas, right? Just putting Alex in the absolute bin. I think like range-wise, we're supposed to be checking a lot of our overpairs at quite a high frequency here, so it makes a ton of sense. And once Alex doesn't probe turn and just decides to check call, just really capping himself on the turn to like 1 pair hands, mandatory turn pills that are going to have to fold to aggression on the river. And I think Niklas just picking up on the fact that he has overpair range advantage, some ace queens that check flop, bet turn, not many, but some, I guess. And yeah, just all of, if you think of what Alex's big blind defending range looks like, it's going to contain a lot of 4x, a lot of 7x, a lot of 3x, a lot of 1 pair type holdings that just really struggle to defend versus a large sizing on the river. And yeah, I mean, I love the old overbet jam on the river, just saying, hey pal, good luck hero calling me here with a hand like, I don't know, like what do you do here with like 9-7, for example? Like, good luck,
You fold everything, man. I'd be folding 5-6, okay? That's how afraid I would be. Just kidding. All right, moving on as we have a few more.
No,
yeah. It doesn't matter if you have the nuts. Niklas has the ultra nuts, the invisible ones. Anyway, moving on. Obviously, we are very happy to have Niklas at our final table tonight. Always a good time. Let's take a look at the profile of Elio Fox. Someone who's also made it to a couple of final tables already in... apparently not in season 2. Wow, I feel like it was quite recent, but apparently it was only in season 1. As you guys can see, he has made multiple final tables in the bottom right side. A 2nd place, a 5th place, a 6th place. But it seems like season 1 was a whole lot more kind to season 2. Since we are running a little short on time, Henry, let's just go ahead and move on to his hand history immediately. And I'll let you do the talking about this pretty interesting one. But also kind of gross, man, because, they get out of line with ace deuce offsuit pre-flop and they flop trips. How is it fair when people are as good as Elio Fox and they also flop like this?
Yeah, I mean, it's, pre-flop seems extremely out of line. Like, I don't really know what to say other than extremely. I want to be kind, but it feels pretty out of line. And yeah, flops standard. Gonna continue for like 20-25% on a 9 deuce deuce, just with range for small. We just have like a massive overpair range advantage, especially given these positions under the gun versus big blind. You know, I'm normally giving the big blind a ton of credit. I'm not giving him ace deuce offsuit. So I love that he's just absolutely gone for it, and then just, you know, the poker gods rewarding him as well post flop. Rotty gets a couple of streets of value, and unfortunately, Alex, I assume, keeping him honest with a hand like, you know, 7s, 8s, maybe even 10s, and then eventually just folding on the river. But yeah. Tough to
been a brutal pre-show so far for Alex Colonius. It feels like we are showing how everyone won chips of Alex Colonius and why he doesn't have a big stack coming into our final table. But anyway, let's move on, since we have only 14 minutes till our actual final table starts. We can take a look at another beautiful profile. One of my favorites, and I was very happy to hear that he's one of your favorites as well. The chess grandmaster from Estonia, Ottomar Latva. I mean, look at that bottom right. First place June 20th. First place October 24th. Made it to our final table last week or the week before. That's the, November 21st, exactly a week ago. That's the first time that he didn't win it, but it was a tough field, and to be honest, he got a bit unlucky. He had a couple of good plays regardless. Just wasn't meant to be. I guess you can't win them all. It's back-to-back final tables for Mr. Ottomar Latva as well. Let's just go ahead and take a look at one of his hands. This is the kind of hand, Henry, that even Roddy knows how to play, because it's just so good when you raise with jacks and you flop top set, baby.
Oh, that's fantastic. What a pure run out. Pure run out. Just, flopping top set, turning a boat, and then your opponent boats up on the river, only losing to, you know, quads and jack 8 and jacks. So, yeah, hand plays itself, right? Elio defending pre, flop check check, turn check check, and then just gets all the money on the river. Love to see it. And like you said, Latva, up and coming youngster in the high roller scene. So I'm looking forward to keeping an eye on him over the next 12 months or so.
Poor Elio Fox, by the way, that 8 on the river is so gross. It's like so unnecessary.
Yeah,
At first you're like, oh, we'll just get it to showdown, see if the 8 is good. And you're like, oh, okay, I'm starting to like where this is going. Let's at least go a couple chips. And then your opponent on lynch, you're like, well, I guess we will most likely chop it. Nope. Top set it was for Ottomar Latva. And if he's going to run like this tonight, then there is a good chance that he is going to be our first 3-time champ of Season 2, because he is so incredibly good. Let's move on and take a look at a profile of the other guy that you were very excited about when it came to this final table. Timothy Adams. Before we started, you said it doesn't matter if this guy has 10 big blinds or 20 big blinds or 30 big blinds. If he makes it to a final table, I believe in him. Why is that, Henry?
It's just Timo, man. He just seems to have the type of play style that gets it done pretty often. Once he gets that chip lead, very aggressive, very capable of putting, you know, the best in the world in really tough spots. But from what I saw, Rotti hasn't had much success recently in the Super Millions. I believe this season. I don't know if he's actually been playing or not. Maybe he's just been taking a bit of time away. You know, with just like live series going on and whatnot. But glad to see him back on the online felt, and yeah, definitely a force to be reckoned with, this guy.
Well, you said he is familiar with putting the best in the world in tough spots. Let's go ahead and take a look at one of the hands that Timothy Adams had as he was duking it out with good old Benjamin Roller, also known as Ben CB. Timothy Adams playing the King 5 offsuit and flopping top and bottom pair. What do you make of this hand, Henry?
Just under the gun open? No.
Yep.
Wow. Okay, well, you know, boys and girls, this is Timothy Adams right here. Okay, just strap yourselves in. I hope you've got the popcorn ready, you've got the drinks ready, because if Adams gets the double Rotti, then this could be an absolute roller coaster of a final table. Just pipping the King 5-0 from under the gun. I mean, come on, man. You know, what kind of animal do you have to be to just, you know, look at this lineup and say, hey, listen, I'm just going to open this. Just built different. He's just built different.
Not exactly a weak table either, right? With Chris
No, that's what
Rudolph,
I'm saying.
Ben
Like,
CB, Thomas
look at this
Muehloecker.
lineup. Like, you're opening against this lineup. Like, imagine the confidence you have to have in your game to just be in there. I love it. Love this.
So what do you make of Ben CB just calling here pre-flop with the ace queen offsuit from the button? Well, a little surprised to see that one.
Yeah, I mean, starting the hand 30 bigs. It's kind of a disaster to have the 3-bet fold up against an under the gun range. It's just meant to be, you know, somewhat tight. But again, it's Timothy Adams, so I don't know. Maybe he just rolled a low number, Rotty, and just decided to go for the old flat call.
Alrighty, moving on then. Let's go ahead and take a look at one of or our next profile actually of Marky Aurelio, and this is the name that may sound familiar to you guys. A few weeks ago, Nanonoko thought that his avatar was an albino alligator, while it's actually a puppy laying sideways. But you guys will see that as soon as the final table actually appears in 10 minutes from here on out. Apparently, Marky Aurelio has already made 3 final tables. It's his third cash, so whenever he cashes, he just makes the final table. Apparently, doesn't come into our final table with too many chips. But Henry Nano is always a big fan of the Brazilians. He says they're all crazy and they're all super fun to watch. Do you echo this sentiment?
Yeah, I mean, the Brazilians are very fun to play against. Some world-class players coming out of Brazil as well, especially over the last couple of years. If I'm not mistaken, seeing him here, he came runner-up just a couple of weeks ago as well, Rotty. So, yeah, maybe just been in the lab and someone to keep an eye on.
Well, let's go ahead and take a look at one of the hands that Marky Aurelio had then, as he was playing the 5-3 offsuit from the big blind. And, well, I guess that flop is somewhat pleasant to look at. I think it's one of these hands that kind of plays itself. But is there anything that stands out for you here, Henry?
Yeah, I mean, some of these multi-way defends have got me, yeah, getting all giddy in my chair, man. You know, it's, the pre-flop, I mean, pre-flop's fine, I guess. You're never going to go broke here too often. Rudolph continuing. Victor just flat calling with the jacks pre. And then Marky's going to have, you know, as well as his 5x, going to have some ace 3s, ace 4s, 6 4s, 6 3s. So, completely understand Victor just putting him in here. And yeah, Marky on the right end of a cooler.
Well, Henry, it seems like you're on your A game today, as our producer did let me know that the hand you were talking about with the ace deuce, Alex Colonius did have tens. You mentioned 7, 8s, 10s against the ace deuce with the trip deuces on the flop. Apparently, he did have 10s there. So it's good to see that you're on your game, because I'm never on my game as we are over here. So that's happy. Obviously, a pretty brutal hand here for Victor Ustimov. You wouldn't wish that upon your worst enemy. Marky Aurelio, however, was incredibly happy flopping trip 5s here. We've got 2 more profiles to go. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, it's a super nutted line. I just realized how shallow Marky actually is when he check raises flop against an under the gun range and a button flat. But look, you got pocket jacks. Marky's going to have some 6 4s, 6 3s, as I mentioned, as well as some, you know, ace 3s, ace 4s. So you just run it. And yeah, ran into it.
Could be a 3-4 as well. Suited 3-4.
I know you love playing those suited 3-4s, Roy. So you're in there.
You're not still angry at me because of a couple of silly hands in Romania now, are you? We had a good time, Henry.
That was one of the funnest nights of my poker career. So
I am happy to hear that. I hope we can do it again soon. All right, we have 2 more profiles to cover. Let's go ahead and take a look at the profile of the man who we have been at least witnessing losing chips so far in our pre-show. Alex Colonius, he has won it twice. It only shows once, actually. I could swear that he won it twice, but maybe I'm wrong. January 10th, so that's obviously a little while ago. He did take second for over $1 million. So that's basically like winning it 3 times. It was just in one of our special editions. It seems like it was the Super Millions week. Maybe it was one of these where you have like 1 week of qualifying, and then the second week we actually play out the main event. First on the Greece all-time money list, has not done too hot in season 2 so far. Only a min cash. I mean, I expect a little better of Alex Colonius, but I guess he has been traveling. Maybe he's been playing a lot of cash games lately. Overall, though, not too shabby of a profile, isn't it?
Yeah. Another one of those guys, man, that you just don't want at your table. Just very competent, very disciplined, and just seems to be aggressive in the right spots.
Well, let's go ahead and take a look at one of the hands that Mr. Colonius has, where he should be winning chips, because we've only been seeing him lose chips so far. Turns out that with aces in the small blind, Alex Colonius is going to be fine. Actually, kind of a funny board, right? The 10-6-6 with another 6 on the turn, giving him the third nuts, I guess, on this board. Obviously, any 6 best pocket 10s would be better, but aces are mighty fine here. Is there anything that Sam Greenwood could ever do here, Henry, or is this just one of these hands where you're always going to pay off?
Not for 25. Pre-flops close. Get 3-bet out the small. Just run it for 25 pre. And then, yeah, B25 on the flop from Alex. Standard on a 10-6-6. Going to continue with range for small. And then turn, it just goes for the old check ship. And, yeah, you just, click the call button for the additional, 4 big blinds?
4 big blinds, yeah.
And you get shown the American Airlines, and yeah, you miss your flight. You're out.
Somehow I have the feeling that you have a lot of experience with missing flights.
Oh, mate, I actually don't. I'm actually really good when it comes to flights. I've only ever missed 1 flight, and that was kind of intentional. That's another story, though.
I've missed one intentional once because I really want to watch an NFL game. Not a very exciting story, but I was like, you know what? Unique opportunity. I'm not too often here in Seattle. I had to watch the Seahawks. But over time, I'd be lying if I said I never missed one because I had a cheeky drink too many the night before. Not too many, but it does happen once in a blue moon. Let's go ahead and take a look at the last man then to qualify for our final table tonight here at the High Roller Super Millions Week 21 Season 2. It is Graf Tackle. Also known as Graf. Okay, they actually spelled it wrong. It's Graf Tackle. But he's not the actual Graf Tackle. It's not Jens Arends. He's just a fan from Russia, Henry. Do you have any fake GTO commentators out there?
I highly doubt it, Ross. I would feel really weird that, if somebody ever started copying my name. But yeah, I was wondering. I was like, is that? And then I was like, no, that's not Jens. The absolute poker meme lord.
Yeah, he's funny on Twitter. I've told Nano about it many times. I was like, you really got to follow him. He's actually incredibly funny on Twitter.
He's really funny. Really funny. Got to give him credit.
All right, but this man, Graf Tackle, has also made it to a couple of final tables in the past. As you guys can see, September 19th, he took a 9th place. He has a lot of deep runs. I mean, looking at this profile, it's obvious that this man is putting in volume and numbers as well. Most of the time plays slightly smaller tournaments than the high roller. A lot of 1Ks, a lot of $500 tournaments, maybe once in a while a 5K. Not a regular in the 10K circuit, but decided to try his luck. Made it to the final table. Comes in with a very, very, very short stack. And that's why you're getting 55-1 if you think that this man can run it up. It would be one of the most ridiculous victories I've seen in over 70 weeks of doing this tournament. Let's just go ahead and take a look at one of the hands he had. When he still had a few more big blinds, as he had pocket queens, and he was duking it out with Alex Ponakov, also a very familiar name to us, who had the ace king of diamonds. What do you make of the way that the man played his queens, Henry?
I actually looked at this spot. I don't want to get too geeky, but I feel like it's just a really weird hand. All in all, 40 bigs, effective, +1 versus hijack. I think the open and the 3-bet is very standard, but then we have this really funky small 4-bet from Alex. I feel like Alex should just be getting it in pre for 40. Don't really want to be, yeah, I don't know. It felt like a really weird hand, and I saw it. I was like, this should just be going in pre. Why are you guys making it difficult for each other? But hey, Alex ended up saving himself 50K, and the small bet on the turn from the queens, and maybe just really worried about the 4-bet range from early position from Alex, and just deciding that hey, he never has 10s or jacks here. I fold out ace king, ace queen, I block ace queen, and I lose to aces and kings. So I'm just going to check back on the river, and that's what he did.
What do you make of the flop bet by Alex Ponakov? It's kind of funny. After we were 4-betting pre and we're betting big, we're suddenly betting 10K into a pot of 73K.
Yeah, so I mean, pre-flop when we do have a 4-betting range, obviously our 4-betting range is extremely narrow, and on a board like 995 range versus range, we just have a massive overpair advantage. So we just get to bet small and keep in a bunch of the weaker parts of Graftekel's range.
I still don't think there is any way that Graftekel ever lets go of his queens here, right? No matter what happens on the turn, no matter what happens on the river. You're just going to pay off and see if your queens are good.
Yeah, I mean, I personally, Rotty, it's just going in pre, and I'm just praying to the poker gods.
So you think they made it a little more complicated? All right, that is going to do it for our pre-show. So you guys have stayed with us through the actual pre-show and the pre-show. Now it's time for everyone's favorite part of the night and the main reason why we are here, of course, and that is the actual final table of Season 2, Week 21. We're going to take a look at the seat selection process. Henry, if you are the biggest stack tonight, Thomas Muehloecker, do you always take position on the second biggest stack, X-Fang? Or does it just kind of determine or depend on where everyone else is sitting and then you make up your mind?
You know, Rotty, I would like to sit here and pretend that I have a ton of experience in making final tables on GG, get to choose my C selection, but I actually haven't done much work on this. I think it just makes pure sense, right? To be on direct position of second in chips.
Well, we've seen a change in trend because that used to be a thing. But then at one point, I told Nanonoko something. I was like, you know, Nano, I'm a bit silly, but I actually like to sit the opposite side of the second biggest stack, especially if the second biggest stack is a very strong player as well, because then I can play some smaller pots. I can put a lot of pressure on the shorter stacks, but I don't necessarily have to get involved with the big stack all the time. And then I was like, Roddy is such a fish. But it actually became a lot more popular over the last 12 months. We've seen it time and time again.
And how it's just decided based off of stack who gets to go.
Yes.
When,
so
right?
now X-Fang has second to last choice. And Thomas Muehloecker, since he comes into the final table as chip leader, he will have the final option to swap seats with anyone.
Okay,
like if I'm him,
really interesting.
Yeah, maybe Timothy Adams' his seat, but then again, you are gonna battle a lot with Ottomar Lotva and Niklas. Then I think he will take position on Niklas, though. That's my feeling. Or he might stay where he is. Oh, he expired. He didn't.
Yeah.
Okay, so he will keep his spot. Now, sometimes they do this on purpose, Henry. But you can also just decline. And Nanonoko always says that if you expire, then you're making life hard for yourself and you can't possibly win the final table.
Yeah, that's an interesting choice there from him. I mean, very tough lineup on the opposite side of the table as well, right? So maybe he did. Maybe he was just grabbing a coffee. Maybe he was like, you know what, boys? Yeah, I'll sit wherever I'm left. Old school. He is old school, Rotty. Let's not forget that. Like, Muehloecker's been around the block. Maybe he doesn't believe in any of this seat selection.
I don't hate his seat, right? Because on the left, he's got a shorty. On the right, he's got a shorty. And then two on his right, he's got the second biggest stack coming into the final table. And he is staying away from the violence on the other side of the table. Ottomar Lotva, Niklas Astedt, Timothy Adams. You don't necessarily want to play pots with those guys over and over and over again, even if you are the chip leader. So I actually kind of like Thomas's seat. And I think if I was him, I also wouldn't have swapped. But I would have definitely pressed decline and not expire. Because expiring is bad karma.
Okay, all right. Good to know. If I ever make a final table, I'll make sure to take note on that one.
X-Fang opening things up here with ace-3 of clubs under the gun. Marky Aurelio woke up with ace-king of diamonds. So we're going to see our first 3-bet of the night. And X-Fang is like, all right, that's it. I'm going to lock it up, throw away the keys. We're not playing anything anymore other than aces and kings.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this, dude. It's been a while. Just bear with me like 2 seconds. Also, just make sure I got everything set up correctly.
Of course, may take your time. Now, while you are setting everything up, I do want to let you know that I get very excited over pocket fours because I do generally believe that pocket fours always make a set unless they don't need to make a set. Now, Marky Aurelio apparently does not go to the poker school of Roddy and he lets go of fours. I also have a 500 euro side bet with Nanonoko. Which hand makes more sets throughout the season? Pocket fours or pocket fives? I'm currently in the lead, 3-2. It's the most underwhelming side bet of our careers because we've been here for 21 weeks and I've had 3 sets. He's had 2 sets. Well, yeah, that's a thing that's happening over here on the Tuesday evenings. Elio Fox decides to play the 6-5 of diamonds from the small blind. Neither player flops anything, but this should be a little better for Thomas.
Yeah, interesting to just see Elio willingly taking it to the streets early on against the chip leader. Also, just nice hand to just see a flop with, right, Rotty? I mean, you know better than anyone else, mate. The old 6-5 suited.
I'm very fond of it. Makes the call, by the way. Had backdoor diamonds, of course, and not a whole lot else going. Maybe we had backdoor straight draw. But he actually makes a pair of 6 on the turn. So he sort of takes the lead, but perhaps not really, because obviously Muehloecker has the ace of spades. I'm actually kind of curious to see what Thomas does here on the turn. Oh. Well, he checks back and makes the nut flush on the river. I'm expecting this to go check, bet, fold. And I think that the rich will just get richer over here, Henry.
I do indeed. Curious to see what sizing he goes for when Elo shouldn't have too many offsuit spades. Bar, you know, like 7s, 9s, maybe even 10s.
Mm-hmm. It's like 80% pot, something among those lines. I do not expect Elio to ever do anything super wild here. It'd be silly. This early on, we've got 2 extreme shorties in the name of GGPoker and Alex Colonius. This is not the right moment to be a gangster and pretend you have pocket 6s.
Hey, I mean, you say that, but this is Elio Fox, right? He's got like 10 million in live earnings. The guy has been around the block.
It would be outrageous, though. It would honestly be outrageous.
Bro, don't get me excited. Hand number 1. If he just goes like straight for the jugular, or just makes it like 800k.
Maybe 1.5. Like if he's actually gonna make a move, yeah, maybe all in is the right way, or make it 1.1, so at least you leave yourself with over 20 big blinds. But this would be pretty ridiculous. It'd be so unnecessary. Don't do it, Elio.
I think it's more so just debating on hero calling. Some of the hands that we beat, like ace queen, ace jack suited, that have to turn into a bluff. Does ace queen take its showdown? Very unlikely.
So we could have some fireworks this orbit as Niklas Astedt wakes up with pocket jacks. X-Fang has ace jack offsuit in the small blind. You know, whenever Niklas opens, I never trust him, Henry. I don't know about you, but Niklas can open anything. So when you have ace jack in the small blind, you're going to think that most of the time you'll be ahead of the hijack range of Niklas Astedt. And X-Fang is deciding to put some pressure on Niklas. I actually wonder what he does here with the jacks. What would you like to see him do?
This is second v third in chips. So absolute ICM disaster to obviously go broke here with jacks. And yeah, I think rolling a flat makes a ton of sense.
I'm pretty sure we just saw this flop, by the way, the king 3. Same suits as well, because we have 2 spades and a diamond, and then 2 more diamonds. If the turn is a 6 of spades, there is something very wrong with the client today. Let's hope that's not the case. X-Men will make a little bet of 4.5 big blinds. Niklas will just make the call. It is not the 6 of spades. It's the 5 of hearts. I honestly think he's going to check here. I think Niklas would actually be all right with checking back as well, right? If our Estonian decides to check it.
Yeah. I wonder if Niklas just like bets like 300k, like third pot on the turn, something like 350. Still can get value from, I mean, again, not many hands, 9s and 10s, questionable whether they 3-bet pre or not. I would lean towards not, just because of ICM. You don't really want to like play huge pots out of position with hands like 7s through 10s against someone that has you covered. And yeah, I think this is just going to shut things down on the turn. Be very questionable to float here, although we do still beat like ace 10 of spades, jack 10, queen 10 of spades, those types of hands.
Niklas indeed going for that 300k bet, little over 6 big blinds. This is a very awkward spot for our Estonian, who's not off to a hot start. Came in second in chips, has tried to make 2 moves so far, also tried to open once, and none of them have really worked out. As Alex Colonius, our second shortest stack, wakes up with king queen of diamonds. I mean, sure, he's got more chips than Graf Tackle, but I'd like to see him just jam this under the gun, Henry.
Oh, yes. In it goes, my man. 8 bigs. I would maybe in some
The
world
sweat?
we... Yeah. Oh, that's right. You actually made me bet on him. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Ace-10 on the button. What do you think our Estonian does here? All right, let's go with Ace-10. Okay. Well,
what do you like when it comes to YouTube and Twitch chat, Rotty? Are we?
no. We mostly just do our show. We don't. I mean, obviously, if you see something funny, mate, if you want to call something out from the chat, you're always able to interact with whatever you want. But most of the time, we just kind of do our thing. This could be a funny hand, by the way, Henry. As we have kings on the button, X-Fang is going to be the one opening things up, though. So I guess Alex Colonius will let go of it. Otherwise, I think there is a chance that maybe he would have defended against the shove of the button, but that is not going to happen.
Yeah, this is, like you said, not been the best start for Vang so far.
He's forced to call this as well. There's nothing you can really do.
It's not even close.
Well, we've seen some gross flops in the past. This is not one of them, as he flops top set with the kings. So both of our shorties finding some success here early on. But yeah, mate, feel free to talk about whatever you want. If you want to talk about the hands, you talk about the hands. If you want to talk about life in Thailand, you talk about life in Thailand. If you want to talk about the Twitch chat, you can do that too. It's your night, Henry. I'm just here to entertain and please you.
I'm curious to hear what you've been up to, man. I know there was a period of time early on in the year where you were grinding like pretty heavily and having quite a bit of success as well. Yeah. So what have you been up to?
Yep, I was the reigning defending champion of the 315 Bounty King for exactly 1 day, but I did have a deep run in the second day as well. I tried to go back to back, become a legend, and I made like top 40 the second day out of like 700 entries. Both times 1 bullet, by the way, so that was cool. Lately, I haven't played all that much, as I'll finish my story soon. As Thomas Muehloecker is going to 3-bet Queen Jack offsuit from the button. And our Estonian, who has not won a hand so far, has the kings this time. I think he's going to get a little too excited here. I think he's going to 4-bet.
Yeah, I mean, given the ICM considerations, we just have to 4-bet here. There's some arguments to just slow playing against the chip leader, who's going to have a super wide 3-betting range because he's going to be applying a ton of pressure, again, for obvious reasons. But being third in chips would be an absolute disaster to allow Muehloecker to, basically realize his equity with his trashy 3-betting range.
Do you like the sizing?
I love the sizing, yeah. I love it.
Thomas will realize that his opponent is most likely very strong here, and he was. Yeah, to go back to your question, TLDR is I haven't played that much poker over the last, let's say, 2 months. That's mostly because I've been very busy with esports. They keep sending me to Sweden, and every time I think this is the last time, there is another little gig I have to do in the studio in Sweden. So I haven't played all that much, but in love with 5-card PLO. I used to play a lot of 4-card, but now I became a 5-card boy, mate. I've put in, I don't know how many hands exactly because I didn't keep track of it, but I think at least 35 to 50K hands of 5-card PLO. And I love it, mate. I dream about it. It's like the Queen's Gambit over here. I see all these hands. I see the flops. I can't stop playing 5-card PLO.
If you had asked me before you told me you're asking, oh, Henry, guess what I'm playing at the moment? You know what? Now that you said it, 5-card would have been up there. Like that does not surprise me whatsoever that you're in the 5-card streets. But I absolutely love to hear that. And I can't wait to bump into you again at some point at a live stop where we just start pegging out some 5-card Omaha flips.
It'd be amazing. Obviously, I still do play some regular tournaments too, just the no limit and stuff. Because I find, for some reason, cash games, I find Omaha 10 times more fun than no limit.
Yes.
But in tournaments, I do find no limit very fun. And I find Omaha tournaments, I don't hate them. I play them. But I actually enjoy the no limit spots a little more than the Omaha spots in a weird reason.
I couldn't agree more with you there, mate. Yeah, I mean, you already know I play a ton of Omaha cash games. But yeah, there's something about, Hold'em tournaments. It's very, very appealing. And look at this, by the way, Astedt just having none of it.
This is something we have seen quite often over the last 12 months, where if there is a limp, wow, Notamar, let's go with his ace. if there is a limp from the small blind and the big blind has absolute trash, you know, the 8 deuce offsuit, 7 deuce offsuit, 9-3 offsuit, they actually like to bump it up and just try to take it down pre because they feel that they can never take it down post anywhere. Well done by Niklas. Strong hand by him. And Ottomar giving Niklas a lot of respect. Obviously, because we have two incredible short stacks as well, I guess, at the final table at the moment.
Yeah, really interesting hand. I'm just being goofy again. Just going to have a quick look to see what we're meant to be doing there with ace four. It feels really tight. But you can't, you know, sorry, you can excuse Ladver, like Rotti already mentioned, given the actual dynamics at the table and ICM implications.
Now, look at this, mate. You would love this. Thomas Muehloecker opening and Timothy Adams from the big blind just rips it all in with ace deuce of clubs. If you talk about a man who's here to play for the win, that's what playing for the win looks like.
What's it? Ace 4-0. Yeah, really interesting. Meant to be calling pure and like jamming 10% of the time, but that's without ICM, a previous hand.
This could be a fun hand as well, by the way, as X-Bang opens things up with sixes under the gun. Thomas Muehloecker just calls with pocket eights. And Alex Colonius is one of the shortest stacks at the table, has ace-10 of spades, and he lets it go. Of 9 big blinds, he decides not to play the ace-10 here after the undergun opened and Thomas Muehloecker calling from middle position.
Rotti, we're just going broke there, right, pal? We're just in with the ace-10.
Yeah, probably. And would have been real bad, especially if X-Bang decided to play it. As our man from Estonia got off to a rough start, flops bottom set here. Let's see how he plays it.
Yeah, interesting spot for Muehloecker, actually, versus any c-bet. Feels like one of those ones where we have a pure continue for one street, but then just versus population and range, that's just going to be, again, very difficult to get our eights to show down successfully. So yeah, saves himself 150k.
Unfortunate for X-Bang there as well that neither of them had anything. It's one of these hands where when you see the flop, you get real excited. You're like, all right, we donated a couple of chips in the beginning, but this is where I get it all, baby, and more, or all back and more. And I'm about to be the chip leader. Did not quite happen. He will defend the 6-5 though, and that's a funny flop with 1 spade, ace deuce 4. Could be some fireworks here.
Yeah, let's get a cheeky little 7 of spades on the turn, or something to keep it spicy. Rotti, so you said that you're up in your bet against Nanonoko, right? The set v set situation.
Yeah. So we have 2 bets. First is just whoever picks more winners, and he actually has a little lead on me because he is always lame and he always picks a chip leader. It's like, oh, Michael Adamo comes in as a chip leader. Look at X-Bang here, by the way. Man, we can talk today. There's so much action. He's getting a little creative here with the check raise. Wow, love it.
Yeah, I really like this, actually. Again, just because Muehloecker is going to be wider than most from +1. Chip lead, ICM, and by check raising rather than check calling, we obviously have fold equity and can fold out a bunch of, you know, the stab hands that just fold to aggression. And X-Fang just realizing as well now, this kind of can look weak, I guess. So, oh, hey, check raise flop and then gave up turn, but Muehloecker's range now obviously, yeah, a lot stronger and narrower once he does call versus a check raise.
Yeah, I don't think Muehloecker was necessarily going to go anywhere anyway, but after making top 2 pair on the turn, he feels confident enough to bet and take it down. Thomas Muehloecker will remain our chip leader. But yeah, TLDR, we have 2 bets. One who picks more winners. Nanonoko is beating me in that one. I forgot exactly what it was for. Maybe also 500 or 750. But he keeps celebrating like it's the year is over. We're only in week 21. I was like, do you know how many weeks there are in a year, Nanonoko? I don't know. I know you don't watch very often, but the man cannot calculate big blinds worth anything. Only at one level, and that's 50k, 100k. That's when he knows how many big blinds everyone has. Every other level is beyond him. But yeah, we have 2 bets. I have the pocket 4s making a set, and he's got the pocket 5s making a set. That's our other bet.
How's he doing now? Is he still out there battling? Is he grinding on a regular basis, or
no? Because he lives in Australia, so it's a little bit difficult for him.
Really? Wow, I didn't know that.
Yep. He was very tempted to make a little trip to the World Series of Poker, but it's obviously kind of hard to travel at this point. He's just spending a lot of time with his family. He is following all the poker news. He keeps DMing me about Michael Adamo winning another tournament. So he's railing a lot. He's reading everything. And other than that, he's just doing commentary with me on the Tuesday evenings or Wednesday morning for him and being a family man.
Fantastic. Yeah, Wednesday morning for me as well, mate. He's a fan of the Bitcoin markets, I assume.
Yeah, he's always talking to me about NFTs and pudgy penguins. And I was
What's he
like,
trying to show you? Come on, let's hear some of these shady projects that Nano is trying to get you to buy into.
okay. So today, what did he get? RTFKT Clonext NFT avatars. That's what he was trying to get me in today. RTFKT. And before that, he's into the doodles, apparently. Doodle NFTs. I was like, mate, everything you're saying to me right now goes straight over my head. I know nothing about this, but I do enjoy listening to him when he goes on about it.
Yeah, I've been pretty deep in the NFT lab over the last decent amount of time. So I'm kind of glad that it's me and you, Rossi, and not me and Nano, because this would have turned into an NFT talking show. But if he's in on the old doodles, then he's probably doing okay for himself.
Yeah, he loves the doodles and he's very big on the next project too. Let's see what Alex Colonius decides to do here with King Jack suited, as he is still just playing a little less than 7 big blinds, or had 7 starting this hand. Let's go, Vit. We know that was the correct choice since Timothy Adams had ace king offsuit. Can you find yourself in that play, the fold of King Jack you don't want to call off?
Absolute hero. Discipline being shown. I listen, I don't want to, blow my own horn, but I did say Alex is a very disciplined player. He's a very disciplined. He is one of those guys that it just seems to find the aggression in the right spot. And yeah, very, very competent guy. So
not an amazing evening so far for Ottomar Lotva. I don't think he has won a single pot yet. Decides to defend the ace-10 offsuit here versus Thomas Muehloecker, opening from the cutoff. Neither player flops anything, but that's a little better for Thomas than it is for Ottomar Lotva. He does make the call though and makes Broadway. Wow, spicy.
Interesting. I mean, I guess by flat calling with ace-10, our hands, somewhat disguised. We also get to keep in a bunch of hands that we dominate, right? Like if we 3-bet, we're folding out hands like queen-10, 10-8, 10-7, case in point. So keeping in a hand that we dominate is obviously great for us. And yeah, I'm happy with the flat pre, given the ICM dynamics. What are you doing on the turn, Rotti? Are you announcing your hand here, trying to get a bit of protection, just in case a 4th heart rolls off? Or
yeah, I think we're raising to make nothing out of line. Maybe like 340, 320, 310.
Yeah, unblocking pairs is nice as well. Yeah, I'm blocking all the 2 pairs, all the sets. And like you said, yeah, you want to get a bit of protection. So
wow, he goes a bit bigger than that. Makes it 460 to go. A bet of 11 big blinds, and Thomas Muehloecker will let go of his 10-7 immediately. But at least Ottomar Lotva wins his first hand of the night. By the way, if you look at Marky Aurelio, can you see the albino alligator that Nanonoko was talking about?
let me get.
When he folds his cards, you can see his
avatar. Okay, right, fair enough. Timothy Adams of Pudgy Penguin as well. Oh, it's just a dog. It's a dog lying down on the side.
Yeah. But Nana was convinced it was an albino alligator.
That's fantastic. I could see why Nano thought that. I can actually see it. Fair play. That's brilliant.
Niklas and Thomas battling here. Thomas flopping top pair with ace-8 of clubs. That's the backdoor clubs as well. Niklas with pocket 8s here. May continue one street. Indeed does make the call. We know that it's impossible for him to make a set here. And I think he will let go of it on the turn. If I'm Thomas, I'm not too afraid. I'm betting again.
Yeah, especially again, given how wide his range is meant to be. So when we have top pair, boys and girls, we put money in the middle because we're not meant to have top pair here. We're the chip leader and we're meant to be bullying everyone and anyone. Actually, no, sorry, I apologize. Niklas was actually chip leader at the start of this hand.
I guess because Thomas just lost a couple chips to Ottomar Lotvan with the 10-7.
He did indeed.
But when check on the turn, Niklas will check once more. I do think that Thomas will pick up on the fact now that his ace is probably good. Then again, not exactly sure what you're going to get called by that you beat. Not a whole lot, right?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, any 4, any 7 now folding, and 8-5, 8-6, 5-6, all with.
Still bets, though. Still bets. Interesting sizing. Actually goes quite big here. Almost 7 big blinds.
Like
after it went check on the turn. I'm sorry, mate. What did you say?
60% pot, yeah, like what was it, 2/3 on the turn. Apologies, by the way. Like if I'm being a bit laggy, just let me know. Because we have had non-stop thunderstorms recently.
I do love the elephant behind you. Embracing the Thailand spirit over here.
Yeah, I'm in the office. Oh my word, they've got Rotty. Why have they got my name as GTO Commentator above my head? Wow, that's so 2019.
We'll go with Henry from here on out, mate. If I keep calling you Henry, everyone will know that you are just Henry. Thomas Muehloecker has aces, and that's obviously a lovely hand to find when you are the chip leader. Timothy Adams before got very out of line against Thomas Muehloecker his opening, perhaps knowing that Thomas is going to open a lot here while there are a couple of short stacks. Earlier, Timothy just jammed the ace deuce of clubs. If he jams this time, Henry, he's in trouble. He won't jam, but he does call, and he flops a gut shot.
Couple of options here for Timo. Can certainly see him committing more chips here, Rotty. You look with a decision as well, like against an opponent like Timothy. Yeah, I really like this. Really just protecting our checking range here. Because Timothy's certainly capable of just putting us in the bin over several streets. And it's a board texture where aces are going to struggle to defend over 3 streets. So if we do get check raised and then, you know, any diamond, any straight completing card, becomes really difficult for us to actually get to showdown, even though we do have the rockets. And now it gets fun. Could certainly see an overbet here.
Yes.
Or well, not an overbet, but large sizing. Overbet doesn't make sense.
Pot size bet. No, I was completely with you on that one, especially after it went check on the turn and Timothy checks again. Now, Timothy's hand did improve a little bit. We went from a gut shot to an open ender. And Timothy's still crazy, was crazy earlier. And let's see what he does here against the pot size bet of Thomas Muehloecker. This is a fun hand already. I love hands like this when you have the shorties around too.
It's close. It's close versus pot.
I honestly think that calling was my least favorite option of the 3.
Yeah. I that's exactly what I didn't want to say it because it's Timothy Adams, you know. Like,
yeah.
I never want to question him, but yeah, it's a fun one.
I would have been okay with folding. I would have been okay with being very creative here and trying to raise, calling perhaps the least favorite one of the 3. Timothy does completely whiff though, so he shouldn't lose any more chips in this hand. Thomas Muehloecker is trying to figure out if it makes any sense for him to bet here at all.
Yeah, I can see jamming being a thing here. Can also see small sizing making a ton of sense.
Goes for a half pot by the looks of it, or a little more than half pot. Timothy will let go immediately. So that's a pudgy penguin as well, mate. Is that an official pudgy penguin?
Yeah, I mean, these guys just flexing, you know, they're playing the 10Ks and they've got the NFTs that are worth heaps as well, you know, as their avatars. It's, well, what a strange old time we live in, hey, Rotty.
Alex Colonius has King Jack offsuit here, and he is still our shortest stack of them all. He will send all of it. Niklas instead with ace-10 offsuit on the button. I honestly think is going to make the call here. Yep, that's what he does. So we're going to run it. Let's see if Alex Colonius can get that double that he's been looking for. The man needs to find a king or a jack or it's all over. Just a king or a jack on the river, or Alex Colonius will be the first one out. It's not paint, and that means that your little bet 41-1 was not meant to be today, Henry.
Not even a sweat, dude. Like, give me the double at least. So, like, give me a straight draw on the flop, you know? Like, he could still lose the hand, but just give me a sweat.
We're going to have a big one here as well, as our second shortest stack of them all is going to jam under the gun. He got his pay jump, but Timothy Adams, your pick, or at least one of your picks, does wake up with kings here on the button. He's trying to figure out what he's supposed to do. I guess we're just going to jam, right? But tank jam, make it seem like you've got a decision.
Yeah, 20 just goes in.
I like that he took a little bit longer. And here we go. Let's see if the Russian can get a double up. Can he find one of these aces that he's looking for? Yes, but there's also a king. How on earth is there also a king here? No. Or Henry, God damn it.
4 times.
Yep, 4 times it is. Well, that means we go from 9 to 7 real quick. And Skrafteco is eliminated in 8th place. He does walk away with $61,000 though. Can't blame the man jamming the ace king there. Brutal. Did you even get an ace? And then there's another king, the last king in the deck. How does that even happen?
This is really interesting now, these stack depths. I could see Timothy doing something really stupid here with king 4. It's like the modern day ace 4 now. Nice card removal, you know, blocking, calling range, but it does just let it go. And yeah, just a quick shout out, Rotty, to everyone on YouTube and Twitch. Apologies, like obviously we're focusing on the poker at the moment, but amazing to see some very familiar names and faces in the YouTube and Twitch streets. A lot of love to all of you guys, and yeah, Rotty is kind enough to have allowed me to yeah, come and join him for one night and call the action.
I absolutely had no saying in that, but I was happy to see your face.
I'll see James messaged me. He was like, yeah, so Nano can't join. And Rotty asked if you could be the one that covers. I was like, oh, wow.
Well, James is a sweetheart. Henry, I would never say no to spending some quality time with you talking about poker and NFTs. But it wasn't me who came up with it. But I do think you're obviously an excellent choice. Let's see what's happening here between Thomas Muehloecker and Ottomar Lotva. As we've got a funny board, Jack 8, deuce, deuce, 9-7 versus Ace King. No one has anything.
Let's go check flop. I apologize. I missed the flop action.
Look at this, by the way. That's a pretty big bet here on the turn by Ottomar Lotva. And he will take it down. I don't hate it, I guess, with Ace King, since it's kind of unlikely that Thomas really has a big hand on a board like this. You know, I want to go back to what you said about the King 4. This brings me back to when we had Limitless actually joining us, not for a whole long, but sometimes he joins for like 45 minutes up to an hour. And he was talking about jamming the suited kings, but mostly into the big stacks. And since it was Ottomar Lotva opening, and he's not exactly the chip leader or the second biggest stack at the table, I guess Timothy didn't want to do it. But I felt like you saw a little bit of hesitation. He's like, is this a moment? He's like, nah, I'll let go of it. As Niklas instead casually flops Broadway here. But it is a monotone board, so kind of funny. See how this one plays out.
It's for small. Marky, this is honestly, it's part of the game that I just hate, to be perfectly honest with you. Just like you flop top pair on the most, just the wettest board against an early position range, and you know, theory says you're meant to call, and it's like Niklas isn't slowing down on many turns, you know. And it's going to be really tough to get our weak top pair to showdown. But hey,
lol. Well, so much for Broadway. We're both playing a flush. Now, can Marky pretend that he somehow holds a club higher than 7? It's a bit unlikely.
Yeah, that's actually I mean, does he have offsuit kings? He has all the suited kings though, right?
Look at this. Actually, a gangster play.
Yeah, I mean, he has like king deuce suited, king three suited. So
If Niklas calls, he is calling for the chop. His Broadway Street does not matter, as we are both playing the club flush. Actually, a sick move by Marky. I really like it. Let's see if Niklas is even sick. No, let's go. Marky Aurelio gets Niklas off the chop here. Well done. That's the stuff we love to see.
love that. Absolutely love that. Yeah, I think our range justifies it, right? Gonna have ball king deuce, king three, 8-5, 8-6 of clubs, whereas Niklas doesn't have many offsuit holdings from early position.
Let's see what Marky decides to do with the ace-9 here in the small blind. Obviously, Thomas has been opening a lot so far throughout this first hour. He's slightly outpipping him.
Taking it upstairs. There he goes. Yeah.
Who is the shortest now? I guess it still was Marky Aurelio. Man, what a play to make as the shortest stack of the table. Getting Niklas off a chop. It's not words I've said very often when Niklas makes it to a final table, Henry. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I can imagine. Really like this pre-flop as well. Just understanding the awareness of the actual dynamic at the table. Muehloecker going to be super wide on the button, obviously. And yeah, just taking the ace-9. It's probably close to pure 3-bet anyway, but hey, just try to give out some credit here, you know?
I feel like we could be up to no good here. Ottomar Lotva. Will he limp? Will he race? He's going to limp. I wonder if he's considering limp jamming here if Niklas does bump it up.
Yeah, well, last time Niklas bumped up with the 8 deuce, right?
Mm-hmm. 8 deuce offset. Ottomar's Lotva, his hand is so well hidden at this point. Like, there's no universe when Niklas thinks that Lotva is holding a hand as strong as pocket tens at this point. Now, that's not a pretty turn card for Mr. Lotva. 1 over is all right. 2 overs, you always start hating it a little bit, but it's not like there's a whole lot to fight for here.
Yeah, I think we just bet one big blind on the river now. Try and squeeze out some value from this 5 or 6.
Or maybe even an ace high.
Maybe even an ace high. Could certainly see Niklas getting curious here, although ace 7 not really the best ace high to do it with. You want to be unblocking some of those, 7 high type hands.
Niklas, too good. Too good for that. Lets it go. Ottomar takes it down. Don't think anyone really thought Ottomar Lotva had pocket tens there. I don't even think Ottomar Lotva believed he had pocket tens there, Henry. That's how slow he played them.
I love your energy, by the way, dude. Like you've always been super energetic, even at like 7 o'clock in the morning during cash games, but commentary wise as well, the pace is it's very nice.
I mean, when I'm still playing cash games at 7 a.m., mate, I am energetic because of the 17 beers and 4 shots I've had at that point. But
yeah, tell me about it. It's been a while. I'm getting old now, dude. I'm getting boring. I haven't drunk alcohol in a very long time.
I cannot say the same. I had a fun Sunday night in Stockholm before I flew home. And that's the way we do it. After an event, if you work 5 days on a StarCraft or Warcraft event, you're supposed to go out into the city and have a couple drinks with the people that control the cameras and do the production and whatnot.
Yeah. Do you know who I'm in Thailand with, by the way?
No.
So I'm with Espen, with Tumlock, and with Methodsco at the moment.
Oh, yes. Who? Someone told me this, and I forgot who. Maybe it was Todd or someone else just mentioned. I was like, wow, Methodsco is there? Yeah, I know him. I think I've only met him once, but seems like a really cool dude.
You must have, just like battle together at some point, I figured. But yeah.
Well, yeah, we don't play the same games, but I know him well, and I know that he was together with Jari for a long time, and they were
Yeah.
both nice. I had the pleasure of meeting Jari once in Roswell, actually. So he got invited to play a cash game, but yeah, Skull's really cool. I know he's been doing a lot of great things in the world of Warcraft. Slightly different Warcraft than I do, but cool dude.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a shame, man. I remember meeting some of the GG team out in Roswell just like literally 4 weeks before the world shut down, and it's crazy to think that two years later we're just slowly getting back into it. So hopefully not too long before we have some of those GG events going around.
I mean, I'm looking forward to it, mate. Trust me, I wish I would have been to Rosendorf 10 times in the last 2 years because I know I would have had a great time. But let's talk about this hand as Timothy Adams is going to open things up here with pocket nines. Marky Aurelio, the man with the albino alligator, or it's just a cute puppy, as ace king offsuit on the big blind.
Yeah, GL boys, see who's better at flipping today. This is shortest stack in Adam's shoes, so ICM wise, it's just like good luck. I mean, I guess nine's close, but you know,
yeah, I think calling is a nightmare, right? Because there is just such a big chance that there is going to be an overcard, so it's all in or fold here for Timothy Adams. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, for 23, I don't think we want to be. Oh, was it 6.5? Yeah, I think it's just going in.
All right. All in it is. Marky Aurelio will obviously make the call. We're off to a good old race. There is the king, and that's a marvelous start for the Brazilian. Timothy Adams is in trouble. He needs a 9 and a 9 only on the river, or he will be eliminated in 7th place. Not even a sweat. A paint can never be a 9. And that means Timothy Adams is out in 7th place. 2 out of your 3 bets down so far, Henry. Are we back in Romania?
What's going on, man? Yeah, that's that's a big sigh of relief for everyone at the table. One of the best in the business losing a flip, and Marky Aurelio up to 2.8 Milski. And let's
he also
get some
had big odds, didn't he?
Let's get some vamos in the chat, boys and girls. That's what the Brazilians normally do, right?
Final table betting, he was 15.5 to 1. Still pretty good.
Yeah. All right. Rub it in. So now I've got all my money on Ladver to get it done.
He's been doing all right. Let's see how we play our pocket sixes here. Ace, Jack, Deuce, 2 clubs makes the call. Is somehow still good. But how on earth do you ever know that your pocket sixes are good here, Henry?
Yeah, I mean, good luck seeing a river card here. Muehloecker just with the dreamiest turn card to continue barreling pretty big for as well. Wow, okay, all right.
Could still bluff on the river though, because I mean, Ottomar, maybe you could go for a very tiny block bet, and that could actually work, but it's obviously very hard to figure that out.
Absolute sicko, Rotty. You're coming out with a block bet here with the sixes.
Spray, mate. Just fucking spray. No, Ottomar will just check. Let's see what Thomas decides to do.
I guess it's one of those ones where like we have a 4, so blocking like 4-5, 4-3. And when Ottomar continues on, an ace jack deuce, but hey.
Ottomar will let go of it immediately. It's kind of impossible hand to play there. Well done by Thomas, of course. He played it well. Ottomar perhaps felt something didn't smell quite right, but so hard to make a call like that on the river. You're literally putting your opponent on king high then. Yeah, we have made over the last few weeks when I was commentating together with Nano, we have seen some ridiculous calls, especially like once it got to 3 ways or like we're down to 3 or even just heads up. We've seen some absolutely mental calls with like 4th pair for like over pot on the river or pot size bet on the rivers where like no idea what was happening, but we had some absolute sick plays.
Oh, this is this has got to be a ton of fun for you, right? You know, like just always watching the best go to battle week in, week out.
Absolutely.
Your game's probably improved tenfold, I would assume.
The final table game, I think, is really good. The problem is making it to the final tables. But once I'm there, mate, I'm a force to be reckoned with. I'll tell you that much.
In the same boat, mate.
Muehloecker, relentless tonight. Is going to open it up here with the Queen 7 of diamonds. See what Ottomar Latva decides to do with King Jack on the button. He lets go of it. Elio Fox with half of the solver special.
Yeah, Muehloecker in a really sweet position now as well. 6 left and kind of just has the boys in a bit of a cage, but Elio Fox old school as it comes and just taking one upstairs for the team.
Old school, but the new school plays. Ace 5. Oh, Muehloecker with aces again. Elio has King Jack in the small blind. X-Bang has King 10 on the big blind. We know that he likes to call from the big blind. A good chance that this goes 3-way.
There's also a chance that this gets taken upstairs out of either of the blinds. I mean, Elio with back-to-back 3-bets. The second one's never a bluff, right? That's a go.
Is that what they say over there in Thailand?
That's what you say, mate. I remember your speech plays.
I know they made no sense.
Yeah, all right.
I still remember I played a ridiculous hand against you, and I had no idea what I had. It was something really dumb, like King 7 offsuit. And you're sitting next to me, like you're doing this with something incredibly stupid, like King 7 offsuit, and I'm just like, how does he know? But then you folded. I was like, I had King 7. You're like, I know you had King 7. I was like, how do you know? You're like, I play poker for a living. I loved it. That was such a good night.
It was good fun, man. Yeah, my hand reading skills have always been pretty on point, but it's trusting the instinct, you know, to actually pull the trigger or make the call. That's the part I struggle with. So just stick it to game theory seems to be the way.
We got King Queen offsuit for Marky Aurelio versus the Queen Jack offsuit of Thomas Muehloecker, who just made the call from the big blind. Picks up a little gut shot on the turn.
Must say, I love this overlay, by the way. Super clean. You got the 2 cameras, payouts, starting chips, prize pool, everything. Like, I really like this.
We came a long way. It did not look like this in week 1, season 1. I'll tell you that much. Yeah, but they've done an amazing job. We did try to use different software for a while, and then I can actually use my better camera. And I think overall the camera quality is a bit better. But the problem with the other software is that there is a bit of a delay in audio. So then it's so hard to actually have fun commentary because you always have to wait a second until you're actually sure that the other person is done speaking. But I am with you. I love our overlay.
I think I know what software you're talking about as well. Experienced that issue myself. Yeah, this is really nice. Main focus, center stage, and then cameras either side. Fair play. Is there anyone we could give credit to? Is that Carl Encho and the boys behind the scenes getting it done?
No, I mean, we have a lovely production crew from Korea that I always greet with "Annyeonghaseyo" because that's pretty much where my Korean stops. And they do appreciate it. So they greet me in Korean as well. And I do obviously think that James have been giving a lot of good feedback behind the scenes. But yeah, it's just, it's a team effort, Henry. We'll keep it at a team effort.
There we go.
Let's see what Mr. Latva decides to do here with his Queen 10 of hearts. He had the backdoor hearts on the flop. Those are dead, but he does still have the gutter ball. If you're Niklas Astedt here with the 7s, kind of feels like a 9 at this point that you're up against, and that's obviously problematic.
Yeah, I don't mind letting it go. Like, what was it? Check, flop. The late C-bet from under the gun from Latva. You know, it's going to be a tough spot for 7.
Sorry, yeah. Latva was under the gun. I thought he was in the big blind. So ignore my 9 comment. We've got kings for Marky Aurelio here. This time, Ottomar Latva is in the big blind, guys. Elio's gonna give some chips to Marky. Don't think we're gonna
Elio's
see a
old
flop
school,
here.
bro. Elio is old school. This could get 4-bet shipped in, but I don't think he's that well. Oh, man, can you
Marky
imagine?
hasn't done a whole lot of 3-betting, especially not from the small blind. So this seems pretty powerful to me.
Yeah, last time he 3-bet, had ace king. You're gonna be aware of that. It's the hand to do it with, though. Oof.
Makes the call with the ace-4 of diamonds and flop stop pair. No, that's not something you're necessarily in love with, but especially with the backdoor straight rolls and the backdoor diamonds, Elio is not folding to a single bet here.
It's small.
Good chance that Elio just calls here and then we might just check it down. Oh,
Oof.
okay. Hello there.
Rotty. Just jinxing the poor man. That's a very grim turn card for obvious reasons. I don't need to state the obvious, but really sigh. Elio's still going to have, Queen Jack, Jack 10, King Queen suited, King Queen of clubs, as well as some pocket pairs.
Check, check on the turn. What does Marky Aurelia do with his kings on the river?
B33 makes a lot of sense. 400k could even go smaller. Somewhere around with 25 to third pot.
We'll check again. So it's over to Elio Fox once more. Trip aces and no kicker. Trip aces sound pretty good to me.
You just ignore the kicker part, yeah. Oh, this is really grim. Really grim. It's like, does he ever value bet King Jack suited here? Queen Jack suited. Jack 10. Does he ever value bet those?
I think Marky will get away from it. I think he knows. He doesn't know ace-4, but I do think he knows about them ace. This makes a lot of sense with the way that the hand played out.
Yeah. Calls flop. Turn check check. That's pretty big. I say big, like 40% on the river. I don't know. It's tough to let go of. I think Elio has enough bluffs here. But then again, like you say, Rotty, calls the 3-bet pre. How many of those hands does he actually call pre-flop with? Does he ever value bet? Like, is he ever value betting weaker than kings?
Like, it could very well be an ace-queen suited, right? An ace-queen of diamonds.
Yeah, ace, all of them. Ace queen, ace jack, ace 10. Let's see if he can ditch these kings.
Yeah. I think he will. He's currently playing 40 big blinds. This river bet is a little over 11. If we're wrong here, we drop to 29, which is not necessarily the end of the world, but 40 sounds a whole lot better than 29. Sometimes it sucks, but you just gotta let go of the Cowboys, and I think Marky Aurelio is gonna fold. It's one of these painful ones, and if you obviously watch it back 30 minutes from now and you realize that you folded kings incorrectly, you're gonna hate yourself for a little while, but I think he's gonna let go.
It's the line as well, right? Call flop, check, check, turn. Bet river in a spot where we just have so many check calls. We just have so much showdown value. Obviously, once we check turn and check river, it's tough. It's tough to think of bluffs, but it's also the emotional investment, right?
like I guess a queen 10 of clubs would be a pretty mental bluff, but Marky Aurelio does let go of the kings. Well done. Obviously, it hurt him. It pained him, but good fold. Excellent play.
See if the poker gods reward him later on for his discipline.
He'll feel happy anyway. In 25 minutes, he'll be quite happy. He can watch the stream. He'll see the hand back. He can give himself a little pat on the shoulder. There's only one way he does not see it in 25 minutes, and that is if he somehow bust, and then he might just rage quit the stream entirely.
Fair.
We've got X-Bang opening up here with King Jack of Hearts, as Thomas Muehloecker calls King Queen offsuit. Flop 9-4-6. Nothing for anyone.
Yeah, I don't know about you, Rotty, but if I bust a tournament that's being televised, I'm not sticking around to see who's winning it, mate.
No, it's not about who's winning it. It's just about your own interest to see if you made a good fold or not.
Don't be silly, mate. Go in straight to the bar. Straight to the hotel room.
It's a little early in Brazil, so maybe he can wait. He's like, you know what, 2 p.m. I'll have a caipirinha, but I don't need one right now. That is going to do it for our first hour of this High Roller Super Million Season 2, Week 21. Henry and I will take a 4-minute and 40-second break, and after that, we'll be back to bring you guys hour 2. Stay tuned. We'll see you soon.
Hi, I'm the new Daniel Negreanu, and I'm the old Daniel Negreanu. We both represent online poker sites, we both love Hold'em. I mean, we're basically the same person. Absolutely, man. I used to love watching you play, the way you would read people, call out their hands, and then, of course, call anyway. Oh, stop. I'm blushing. But old Daniel, man, I gotta ask, man, what's up with this look you got going on here? You tired or something? Yeah, I'm tired. I'm tired of all these freaking beats I've been taking. It's freaking ridiculous. Look at this motherfucking hand. This motherfucker is calling the freaking turn with this piece of hand. Freaking absurd. Whatever. I don't even know why I'm so upset. I mean, bad beats, they're just part of the game, right? I mean, they don't really have to be. You see that? I took a bad beat, then GG Care took care of some of my losses. Hashtag, thanks GG. You think maybe I could borrow that laptop and play a little while? No, definitely not. Just say GG to that site you're playing on over there. You just think you're so clever. Nope, just a good read. GG, poker star.
Elke was waiting to come back to the final table.
Fedor holds stings. Oh my God.
Michael Adamo is the best.
Welcome back, everyone, to the second hour of season 2, week 21, where I'm still joined by the amazing Henry Kilbane, previously known as the GTO commentator. As Nanonoko couldn't make it today, his daughter has been a little bit sick over the last few days, so he's just being an excellent dad. Everything seems to be all right, but he didn't get a lot of sleep. That's why we got Henry here today. You've been enjoying yourself so far, Henry?
Yeah, I mean, spoiled with the company, spoiled with the lineup and the money at stake. And yeah, it's been fun. Like I've really enjoyed your energy so far, Rotty, like I said before we went on break. So really nice pace. And yeah, obviously have some world-class players in the mix as well. So that makes things even more, yeah, just that additional bit of excitement.
Elio's got a lovely spot here as we have Thomas Muehloecker opening things up under the gun. Niklas calls from the button and Elio has aces. Makes it big. Don't think he's going to get any action here. Can't blame him. You never know. Sometimes they have it and they'll just run
never
it.
A bluff, right?
No, it is never a bluff. But then again, whenever people say it's never a bluff, once in a blue moon, it is. But Niklas and Thomas knew. I do hope before the end of the year, obviously it's so hard to figure things out right now with Corona, but I have been planning a little trip to Roswithoff together with Todd.
Man. Can you just let me know about my connection?
Yeah, you're fine. Sometimes you freeze for a split second, but we can always hear you fine. I don't think you have to worry too much. It's been going all right so far. And if you need to take a minute, mate, just take a minute. I'll hold down the fort alone. Niklas takes one down with Jack 10 offsuit on the 9 deuce deuce, I believe it was. So we basically just got rid of our 2 short stacks. Alex Colonius and Graf Deco obviously came into this final table incredibly short with a little less than 10 big blinds. And we also lost Timothy Adams, who ran his ace king into kings. I flopped an ace. But there was a king on the board as well. The last king in the deck. Our Estonian, one of the 2 last remaining Estonians. I think this is the first time ever, by the way, that we have 2 players from Estonia in the top 6. I've never seen that before.
I tell you what, man, some real talent coming out of Estonia over the last couple of years. Especially like mid stakes online, some serious crushes.
Marky Aurelio makes the call here with Jack 7 of spades. Flop mid pair, has the backdoor spade draw as well. He's up against ace king. Don't think X-Bang is going to slow down anytime soon. Don't think he's too worried.
Yeah, plenty of weaker hands you can continue to get value from here. I think this sizing as well, like, yeah, just like 80% pot turn and check back a lot of rivers.
Takes it on. He's doing a good job so far. Obviously a very stacked final table. He's going up against a lot of monsters here. Niklas still going strong. Ottomar Lotva, 2-time champ in season 2. Thomas Muehloecker, who makes final table every second week. I feel like X-Bank so far the only player to satellite into this tournament today or into the final table. He doesn't look out of place. He's been playing his game, and I think he's doing quite well.
Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And like I said, those 1K satellites, they're not the easiest fields to navigate. And then to not only qualify from the 1K, but then to kind of like hold your own all the way down to the final 6.
Take a quick look to see. I know that Thomas bought in 5 times, but once more, that was a decent investment as he came into the final table as ship leader. Actually, everyone made it on their first bullet besides Thomas Muehloecker and Ottomar Lotva. Ottomar Lotva rebought 1 time, Thomas 5 times. Everyone else, 1 bullet miracles.
Rossi, come on, man. That's just heart to heart right here. What's the most bullets you fired in a single tournament?
I mean, nothing big, crazy, not in the big buy-ins, but sometimes in the small ones, especially if it's a hyper turbo. I can be in for 10, 11, 12. Like, I don't care, but not in any of the bigger buy-ins.
Have you ever played a tournament where even if you came first, you wouldn't break even?
No. I am DJing, but I'm not that DJ.
I've seen a few stories like that going around. It's pretty insane. Yeah, I wonder at what bullet, Muehloecker was going to throw in the towel, Like, is bullet 7? Is he like, maybe,
I think it really depends on how far along they are and the rest of the field. We have seen people make it to the final table firing 9 bullets. Actually end up winning it. So
wow. Yeah. Wow. I mean, I know nothing of this field, and what a soft field looks like, and what a tough field looks like. I mean, I take one look at the lobby and see the name Niklas or Muehloecker, and I'm no longer interested.
Ottomar Lasva decides to bet here on the river, thinking his ace jack is good. We know it is good. X-Ban did play 6s earlier tonight, and back then he flopped bottom set. Could not get any value. This time there is no set for him. Could have maybe pretended to get very creative there, since 6-8 was the nuts and he was holding the pocket 6s, but that wouldn't really make a whole lot of sense. He knew it, and I think Ottomar Latva would have known it as well.
I don't know, Rotty. I'm tempted with the 6s there to, start. I'm just seeing too many blockers and like, oh, I blocked 2 straights, not just one. I'm all in.
How likely is it that you're gonna get credit for it when you open from an early position?
True. He flat. He did not open from early position. He flat. Niklas opened.
Okay.
But still.
The 6-8 suited flat? Yeah, maybe. Niklas makes top pair here, by the way, on the turn as he flopped an open ender. Thomas Muehloecker has an open ender now. A queen would be an incredibly gross river.
Why are you calling out cards like that, dude? There's 300k to play for here. I'll be inflicting that kind of pain.
Niklas actually busted me once. Like, I don't play 1Ks a lot, but one time I had a deep run in a 1K and we were down to 12 and I jammed 7s from the button and he snap called me with jacks in the small blind. So I'm low-key very anti-Niklas instead. No, I'm kidding. He's amazing, but like, he won't ever for the life of him remember that hand. Completely irrelevant to him. But like, to me, that was a big one, Henry.
Yeah, it's like another day in the office for him. Probably like one of his lowest buy-ins in a day. You're out there, 12 left in a 1K. And just like some people, man, these guys, they have all the money and all the run good. It's not fair.
River is a 9. Thomas Muehloecker has nothing. It's a big pot at this point. He will check back. Does not decide to go nuts on the river. I believe he raced on the turn, right? Or did he just bet? Did Nick? Yeah. So Niklas winning a pretty big one.
The turn probe
makes everything a little more even. It does kind of feel like tonight could very well be a heads up between Niklas Astedt and Thomas Muehloecker. I know there are still 6 left. I feel that we are slowly but steady heading into that direction. It's kind of a funny flop.
Sorry,
Ilio flops mid pair. Ottomar Latva flops the open ender.
Absolute torrential downpour outside. We've got like 5 different internet connections, but
you're totally fine on my side. If there's ever something going wrong, I'll let you know. Like, every now and then you kind of turn into a robot, but it's really not bad. Nanonoko has just as many issues from Australia each and every single week, mate. Don't worry. Is it that time of the year in Thailand? Because I know that the weather can get pretty extreme over there. You guys battling thunderstorms left and right?
I'm so sorry, mate. It's like lagging. I didn't hear what you just said.
No worries. I was asking about the amount of thunderstorms that you've recently had.
Oh, it's crazy. It's meant to be summer here at the moment. And I don't know, global warming or whatnot, but it's it's the 1st of December where I am, and there's still a lot of torrential downpour.
All right. Ottomar decides to bet his ace here on the river. He goes for 4 big blinds, I believe it is. Elio Fox still just has that 6, and that's the only thing he really has to work with. I think he will let it go. Yes, he will. So at least Ottomar chips up to 2 million. It's not too bad. He's hanging in there. If either Ottomar Lotva or Niklas Astedt wins it, they will be the only 3-time champion of season 2 so far. And we're only 21 weeks in, so that's pretty sick.
How many are there each season?
Well, we are supposed to do one every single week, so 52, I guess.
Oh, okay, sick. That's insane. Because like you mentioned earlier on, you were like, oh well, it's a year, and I was like, well, there's only 1 month left.
No. We're just talking about seasons.
Okay, that makes it really interesting. Oh, you guys have got a fun bet then. Yeah, you've got a very fun bet. I like that.
And he picked Niklas today. I picked Thomas today. I actually, if Nano wins tonight, it's going to be annoying. He's going to DM me about if I now want to already pay up the bet because I can no longer win. And I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? We're 21 weeks in. I am not going to pay off any bet to you at this point.
So how far ahead would he be in that bet?
So basically, we do it by the odds that you get when it comes to final table betting. And at this point, he's maybe like 5 or 6 points ahead. So if I ever pick someone that's 7-1 and they win it, then I'm already leading our bet. But obviously, Niklas today was, what was it? 4.5. So he would get another 4.5.
Yeah, see, I mean, you could come in clutch on week 45, dude, by like picking like a 44-1 or something, like 46-1 or something.
Absolutely. So that's why he's being ridiculous. This could be a fun hand. Elio Fox flopped top pair with the Jack 9 of diamonds. He's betting it from the button, and Thomas Muehloecker puts in the check raise with the open ender, and Elio Fox make trips 9s, but Muehloecker now also picks up the 8-high flush draw. That's a fun one, Henry.
That is the spiciest of turn cards, because I don't think Muehloecker is going to slow down. Not on that turn card. Elio is going to have a bunch of Jack 10s, hearts that float, some ace kings, ace queens, ace jack, ace 10s. That's a fun turn card.
Let's see what Thomas Muehloecker decides to do, as there is 1.2 million in the middle, 20 big blinds, or 21 even. Muehloecker bets 9 big blinds.
Setting it up, Brotty. He's setting it up, boys.
Good Elio jamming. Now, Elio just calls and makes the nuts on the river. Oh, well, the second nuts, but basically the nuts. And now Thomas is in trouble if he tries to continue this story.
Yeah. It's like, are we value jamming flushes now? Maybe only exclusively nut flushes, which we don't have many of. Because most of them play as 3 bets pre, bar like ace 6, ace 8. Yeah, I mean, he's set up a very natural river SPR, right?
I guess it's the 3rd nuts, actually. But who cares? It's the nuts.
I didn't want to say anything, dude. I was like, maybe we don't even have to have like an all-in sizing here. Maybe we can do it.
Oh, he checks. Thomas Muehloecker decides to check. What does Elio Fox do? We know it doesn't matter, but I'm kind of curious. He just goes for all of it, right? Pretty much.
All-in sizing. Himself a little bit behind, like he would if he was bluffing. Nice. Elio Fox, the old school.
Hey, 3.9 million. He's actually running hot at the moment. Well done, Elio Fox. Playing well and running well. Came into this final table in 4th place. Entered with 2.1 million chips. Now up to 4 mil. Let's go, Elio. That's pretty sick.
I need Ladva to just come in clutch, man. I mean, 3 people eliminated, 2 of my bets out, even though I did pick the shortest stack, but you know.
With Thomas, I feel like it often goes the same way. Like things are going well, he's crushing, and there's always one hand where suddenly it all goes wrong and he loses a few too many chips. It could have been a whole lot worse, but it obviously was painful what just happened. As he puts in the 3-bet here with the ace-8 offsuit. I actually think X-Fan will let it go, and he does. So Thomas wins a couple chippies back and hopefully gets back into the winning column.
I'm still yet to see the
Uh-oh.
4-bet bluff.
Oh, I don't know if you see what I see, but I have the feeling that Thomas Muehloecker is once more going to lose chips here. As he's got the ace-queen offsuit, but Marky Aurelio has kings again. Not the first time tonight.
So this goes like 400, 360.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 400.
Yeah, I guess if Marky then like whatever Marky does, he even goes a bit smaller than that. Thomas Muehloecker makes it 324. I mean, obviously Marky Aurelio is going to look incredibly nutted here. No matter what he does, whether he calls or jams all in, and most likely he will just jam all in. Yeah. It's pure pain, but I think you have to let it go, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to fall in love with the waffle. The waffle gets you in trouble.
What if it's suited though, Henry?
Suited is close. I think suited is probably close to pure cool. I can have a look if you want, if you're super curious.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious. Why not? I'll keep an eye on the action.
Under the gun versus cutoff versus button.
Ottomar Latva takes one down here with the queen-9 of spades. Also having another solid night so far. Not necessarily the same spectacular plays as we've seen in the past, but just playing his game. Solid as always, not making any mistakes so far. Other than maybe letting go of the ace-4 when Niklas raised it with 8 deuce on the big blind, but who really cares about that hand? We do have a new chip leader. After Elio Fox won all those chips before. First time tonight. So we had Niklas as chip leader. We had Thomas Muehloecker. And now for the first time, Elio Fox is our chip leader.
Yeah, pure fold. Ace Queen suited is pure fold as well. Okay. Sorry, Ace Queen suited is pure cool, and Ace Queen is pure fold.
Oh, Thomas Muehloecker has pocket fours, but I believe Ottomar Latva just folded a 4. So I only have one out. It doesn't matter whether Nanonoko is here or not, by the way. I would get a point on the board if Thomas Muehloecker flops a set here, but you know my rule, Henry. Pocket fours always flop a set unless they don't need to flop a set. The hand is invincible, but
I can't wait to play some live cash with you again, mate.
And I will get crazy with the force, trust me.
Oh no, mate. Oh no. We need to make it some like super low stakes as well, you know, just like the old 1-2 game, just so the drinks can flow and the hands can get wild.
I can't wait either. It's so annoying because a few times I really had my hopes up and I tried to plan out a trip. Yeah. And then all the regulations changed again in Europe. It's been a bit of a nightmare trying to plan anything poker related. At least there is online poker. Elio Fox bets big here on the turn with just Jack 10. Thomas Muehloecker does have a up and down, a 3, a 7. Still has a pair. It's a tough call, but
double gutter.
Yeah. Is Thomas crazy enough to potentially go all in here, Henry?
I mean, I like where your head's at. I do like where your head's at.
Oh, makes the call and makes the straight on the river. Now, he does have the bottom end of the straight, but it's still a straight. And how likely is it that Elio Fox has another 9 after he already had a 9 when we had trip 9s or 9-9 deuce on the board?
Could you? If Elio can pull the trigger here, I would be very impressed. He's got the hand to do it with, right?
But Thomas ain't folding though. I actually don't believe he's ever folding.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
So
Elio goes all in with the Jack 10. I don't think Muehloecker is folding. I don't think you love it, but I don't think he's folding.
This is absolutely insane. Elio Fox, take a bow, mate, even if you get called. Absolute sicko. This has the hand to do it with. You know, I guess unblocking clubs is irrelevant, but obviously blocking 10-9, unblocking 2 pairs. Unblocking the 7 as well is nice. Some of the like 6-7 type hands, 7x hands.
Thomas Muehloecker with the bottom end of the straight. I can only imagine that he watches the show every now and then, and he knows how much I love pocket fours. Thomas Muehloecker makes the call, and he is right. And he is back to being our chip leader, baby. 4.7 million chips heading his way. I mean, sick hand, sick play by Elio, but great call by Thomas there. Even though I think it's almost mandatory at that point, right? If we're calling the turn and we make that 7 on the river, I think it becomes a mandatory call.
Yeah, I don't know, man. A lot of Elio's barrels contain 9s, obviously, but hey, like you said, you know, you call on the turn and get that river. It's a fun one.
Sick hand.
Yeah, that's. I mean, you gotta respect the heart from Elio Fox as well, right? Just finds the trigger there. Flop, turn, and river. That's definitely my favorite hand of the night so far.
You gotta respect the heart, but it does suck for him because he was the chip leader and now he's one of the shortest stacks. Probably gonna open this one up as well, but this time your man, Ottomar Latva, and also my man, because I'm a big fan, wakes up with the aces on the big blind.
Go on, Latva. Curious spot here with third, well, we're tied third with Markey and X-Fang. See, 3-betting seems super nutted, especially against EP, this stack depth. But yeah, probably just make it like 5.5 bigs. No, sorry, slightly bigger out of the big.
He goes for 8.
Stacks. Yeah, he's like, let's play for stacks.
Elio lets go of the queen jack immediately. Ottomar still just slowly but steady chipping up though, not a worry in the world. He is not a Michael Adamo. He doesn't have to dominate the final table from the beginning to the end. He'll just play his game, survive, hang in there, be solid, and eventually find himself in heads up and then play amazing.
Nice little squeeze spot here for Ladver as well. See if he takes it. Markey's going to have a bunch of suited broadways that flat button, right? As well as like 6s through 9s that struggle against the squeeze out the small.
Still Niklas to act behind though. That's always a little intimidating. But let's see what Ottomar Latva decides to do here with his ace-8 of spades. He is going to bump it up. And should be able to take it down pre. Well done. He's playing good again, man. It's like impossible not to be a fan of his game, I think.
Oh man, I love how Rotty you figured out it was an elephant straight away, and LZDT saying Henry's background looks like a kitchen table full of some spoiled food and ants and flies on it.
To be fair, I see slightly more of the elephant than the people at home do. If I would only see what they see,
fair.
I can see where they're coming from, but I have a slightly bigger preview picture, and I can see the face of the elephant.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, as soon as he said it, I was like, actually, yeah, I got to give him credit. It does kind of look like that. But yeah, the art choices in this this place aren't. I don't know. They're not the type that Nanonoko would be shilling on stream, you know.
Well, I don't know what Nanonoko's into, man. I looked up those doodles and I didn't know what I was looking at. But
hey, listen, yo, if Nano's got some doodles, dude, he's doing all right.
Nano's got doodles. I know that much. I don't know which one. Don't ask me which one, but I know he's got the doodles.
Good man.
X-Man making the call here from the big blind with his suited king. Not very happy with that 10-5-5 flop with 2 diamonds. Thomas Muehloecker will just continue. Even though it sucks because you know there is a chance that he whiffed. I don't think there's really a whole lot you can do here with the king 7. And I don't want to get too creative, man. When I'm out of position against someone who's as good as Thomas Muehloecker, let's keep the game simple for ourselves, shall we?
Yeah, I agree. Like on a 10-5-5 in a spot where we do have more 5x, so we have more, higher nut advantage. We do decide to check raise as a bluff. We want to have hands that can turn equity and can obviously improve across 2 streets. So king 7, no backdoors, just go straight into the mark.
This will probably be a lot of excitement pre-flop, but then we'll most likely end up chopping it, even though we've got all 4 suits represented over here. Oof. And Marky, I did get the best of Niklas said earlier tonight, where he got him off a chop. Niklas will make the snap call here. Let's see if there's going to be a sweat. Couple clubs, couple hearts. Couple hearts. Okay. A heart on the turn for the sweat? No. I'm an evil man, Henry.
You're an absolute sicker. Like, boys and girls, they're playing for 300k here, and Rossi's just calling in the pain.
I didn't say that I want him to make the flush, but I like to see Niklas sweat a little bit. Come on, man. That guy runs so good in life. He's one of the all-time best performers of the High Roller Super Millions. Probably is the best if you take season 1 and season 2 together. That man deserves to be sweating a little bit every now and then on the turn.
Just another day in the office. I wonder if are these guys even human, Rotty? Do they sweat in these spots, or do they just shut down the lobby if they bust and go to sleep peacefully?
I think they sweat. I mean, I watch every single Instagram video ever of Patrick Leonard, and if I see the passion that he's putting in on those turn and flops, mate, I do believe they sweat.
Oh man, Pads is an absolute ruffler. I love Pads.
Yeah, he's a funny guy. My favorite Instagram account to follow. And I follow a lot of beautiful Russian girls, but they do not compete with Pats.
Yeah, Pats is character. I've got a lot of time for Patrick.
Thomas Muehloecker will just continue putting on the pressure as he opens up here the A7 from the button. Ottomar Lotford with Jack 8. I feel like we could defend this. And he will defend it. Doesn't flop a whole lot though. Yeah, I was so sad last week because I've been cheering for Patrick to make it to the final table of the High Roller Super Millions for so long. And I actually looked at the lobby and I saw he was doing well. I was watching the Instagram videos and I was like, this is it. The man finally makes a final table. And then Thomas Muehloecker, out of all people, actually jammed King 5 while there was a super shorty all in, and Pat's called off with the last 6 and 7 big blinds when he had jacks. So it was a 3-way all in on the final table bubble. And Thomas Muehloecker obviously spiked the king. So Patrick made it to a final table, but then he didn't because he had no chips. Kind of sad.
Egyptian in the chat saying Marco was playing the $84 speed racer with me 4 hours ago. The absolute heart of X-Men.
I love this.
That's insane. I wonder what like the lowest buy-in table these guys are. So you have the 10K final table, and then you just have like a casual like $100 tournament open on the side. A couple of small ones just to keep you entertained, keep you busy.
The $100 speed races are fun. Okay, I've been trying to sell Nanonoko on it for a long time. He doesn't believe me, but it's real. These guys, they just love a flip. And sometimes, when I'm bored at night and I play some late night poker, suddenly I see Elkie playing the $20 flip and go in the middle of the night with 8 bullets. I'm like, Elkie, what are we doing, mate? What are you up? It's 3:45 in Prague. Why are we flipping going at 3:45? But
that's fantastic.
They just love it, mate.
Hey, let's see what's going on.
Elio will take this one down though with the 6. Winning a few chips back after giving a lot of them to Thomas Muehloecker a while ago. This could be a very big one, Henry. As Thomas Muehloecker is going to open things up here with pocket 10s under the gun, and Niklas Astedt has ace-king offsuit on the button.
No.
Could be big.
3-bet call. Don't want to start piling in 10s for 50. Oh, hang on. Blinds have gone up. Yeah, it's 40, 44. Oh, this is actually really close. I think jacks is probably a pile, but 10s is, I think 10s just plays as flat.
Oh, well, an ace or a king on the turn or river, and things get real ugly here. As Muehloecker flops top set. Good evening.
Yeah, GL Niklas.
Yeah.
Does not want the turn to be like a queen, or well, definitely doesn't want to turn top pair. And if it turns a queen, then it could be showers.
Oh. Yeah, Thomas Muehloecker, right now, you're just loving life. You're like, yes, all those weeks of making it to the final table, but not winning the high roller super millions. We're turning it around tonight, baby. As Niklas bets 540K. And of course, Thomas Muehloecker will just make the call. I think Niklas is going to check back here, right? This spot is obviously monstrous. It doesn't feel like Thomas is going anywhere.
Yeah, this is, I mean, SPR 1. You got ace king.
Oh, no. Niklas goes all in on the turn, and he is drawing dead. Thomas Muehloecker wins the biggest pot of the night. Wow. Niklas eliminated in 6th place, walks away with $97,000. Wow, Henry. What do we make of that one?
Oh, Rotty, we now have some real ICM magic about to go down here. This is, what a spot for Muehloecker. I mean, look at these stacks, just how level they are. And then look at the payout difference between 5th and 2nd, you know, 125K. Yeah, 125K difference just to outlast, you know, 3 other players at the same stack as you. This is gonna be a fun one.
I feel like Thomas Muehloecker is about to go full Michael Adamo on these last remaining 4 players. Can play every end. We can open whatever the hell we want. And Ottomar Lotva, he obviously knows what he's going up against. Opening the ace queen here. Did have the backdoor hearts, but those are dead too. I think Muehloecker will just win pot after pot at this point. Wow, this is mental. Oh, he's got 110 big blinds right now, Henry, at the final table of a 10K. Are you kidding? It's ridiculous.
Yeah, good luck everyone else playing for 2nd, yeah. That's what I like to tell the boys.
All right, but let's go back to the hand real quick. Obviously, the hand played itself for Thomas Muehloecker, but what do you make of the play of Niklas? Can you find yourself in that play? We are obviously representing aces and kings when we do that. Or do you think it was unnecessary or out of line, crazy, nuts?
Yeah, I mean, I think the confirmation bias of obviously running into top set always puts that seed of doubt in your mind whether the play's GTO or not. And I think if you look at any computer software, it's absolutely fine. Muehloecker is still going to have, you know, not too many hands that float necessarily, but hands that call 1 fold turn. It's going to be some, you know, ace queens with the back door, maybe 8s or 9s at a, you know, 8s or 9s at a low frequency, and they're just going to be forced to fold turn. So yeah, the confirmation bias in poker, obviously, you and I both know that can be pretty brutal, but I think absolutely fine. We get to fold out a bunch, and we have equity against jacks, queens, maybe not queens, but we have equity against jacks, 9s, even like ace 10. Still have outs.
Unfortunate one for Niklas. I guess not even Niklas can win them all, so he won't be our first 3-time champion of season 2. Ottomar Lotva, though, on the other end, he is still in the running, but he's got a pretty tall mountain to climb.
Just scrolling through. So you got these all in or fold games. I mean, that sounds right up your street, mate.
Mate, I've had a couple of nights where You know, one of our main candidates to make almost any final table. Damn it, what's the name of the Austrian dude? He's always sitting alone by himself in the 1K all in our fault.
Oh, is
He's-
it Austrian dude?
Yeah, Austrian dude. He's friends with Fedor Holtz as well. Damn it, what's his name? I can say his name over and over again, and now I can't. I'm drawing a blank.
I know who you're talking about. Eibinger.
Matthias Eibinger. He's
Matthias-
always there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Matthias Eibinger. Yeah,
And
I know Eibinger.
I flip with him for 1K. I think 3 times. I'm 0-3. I'm like, damn it, man. Life's so unfair, mate. Like he's already crushing the high roller super millions. He made a big jackpot a while ago as he flopped a royal flush in the all in or fold.
Look at this, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, Muehloecker just blasting off against Markey, who's backdoored into a full house.
Makes the call, by the way, just in case. Marky makes the call, and it's a lovely donation as Thomas Muehloecker bet over 10 big blinds there on the river. Could have worked against a lot of hands. It's not going to work against Marky Aurelio, who run at a full house. The man can afford it, Henry. Thomas is still over 100 big blinds. I think he's doing all right. Okay. Now, Nano would normally say is like, well, Thomas Muehloecker can't win it. He can make final table after final table, but he never wins. Stop thinking he's going to win. The man never wins. Today, I feel something really weird needs to happen for Thomas Muehloecker not to win this edition of the High Roller Super Millions.
Wow, Muehloecker just getting it done.
Whopping trip 5-0 as well.
Yeah, if you could take this upstairs,
Mm-hmm. Deuces are going to be good here quite often on this board. 5-5-3. Actually, one of the better flops you're going to see with deuces that do not include a deuce. So Latva is indeed going to raise it up. And Muehloecker is just wondering, what did he do different today to run like this at the final table?
Any fours on the turn? Yeah. Never lucky. Never lucky.
In the past, though, I do always feel that even whenever Latva tries to make a play or feels like he maybe has the best hand, he's really good in getting away from trouble. So let's see what our Estonian starter decides to do here on the turn. It's a pretty big pot at this point. Tiny bet. You think Thomas is going to raise it up?
I mean, sure, there are some hands that, want a bit of protection against, flush draws, some straight draws and whatnot, but also Latva just has so many bluffs here that they're going to fire. Why not give him as much rope as possible? Okay. Let's take it upstairs, though. That'll be the end of that.
That should be the end of this hand. There is one thing we have to mention, and it's that Thomas Muehloecker is actually starting to run a little low on time. Now, it's a lot better to run low on time than it is to run low on chips, and he's got plenty of chips, but he only has 53 seconds of time bank left, and we have definitely seen this be an issue in the past. If we can get it to heads up, we've seen some very good players make uncharacteristic mistakes when they are out of time in the heads up match. So that's something that if I was Thomas, I would honestly save those last 53 seconds until you get to the final 2 or the final 3.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is muscle memory, though, man. It's really tough. Like, I know a lot of these guys, and they've kind of I mean, you played a ton of video games yourself, so you know all about muscle memory and whatnot, and just timing and everything. And it could be really difficult to adjust. Even when you see your clock at like 53, you think you'd make a conscious effort to try and speed your decisions up, but it's not that easy, man.
I know it's not easy, but yeah, once more, I know that you don't watch every week, but we've seen some crazy things once world-class poker players completely run out of time banks, so they only have 5 seconds before they have to make a decision. This could be a big hand, by the way. We'll talk about the time banks later. As Thomas Muehloecker has ace-jack offsuit, Marky Aurelio has pocket fours, which is absolutely going to flop a set, but he's just not going to see a flop because Elio Fox has kings. Well, just wait, Henry. You laugh right now, but that's going to be a 4 right in the window.
Yeah, this is that ICM cage that we were talking about. Like Aurelio comfortably in second, 125k difference between fifth and second. So just letting go of the fours. Muehloecker to pile here, I guess, especially against Elio, who's definitely been on the aggro side when it's come to pre-flop aggression.
Okay, here we go. That's a big one. Now we're going to see all 5 cards. I'll guarantee you pocket fours win this hand. But let's see if it's going to be ace jack or kings. At this point, the kings of Elio Fox are still good. They are still good on the turn. Will Thomas Muehloecker find the ace on the river? Nope. That's a safe card for Elio. So he wins a big one back. And he's up to 4.2 million now. I can't believe the fours did not make a set. Seems rigged to me. All right, well, we've got a battle on our hands again. Thomas Muehloecker and Elio Fox have just been tossing all the chips at each other throughout the entire evening. That makes it a bit more spicy again.
Yeah, and it makes some of the folds from Marky, Ladver, and Xfang more understandable as well. You know, you've got 2 guys that are just willing to lock horns against each other. And, you know, if you can fold and make yourself 33k because these 2 guys don't mind getting 45 bigs in pre, then, you know, you fold and make yourself 35k. It's simple as that. When it comes to leaning on the caution side of things.
I have a fun fact for you. Apparently, this is the 9th final table of Thomas Muehloecker in season 2. We did mention it in the beginning of the show. Of those 9 times, I picked Thomas Muehloecker to win 4 times, including tonight. And Nanonoko picked him to win it 3 times. So 7 out of the 9 times so far. We did think that Thomas Muehloecker was going to win it. He hasn't won it yet.
Wow. Commentator curse.
Perhaps. But most of the time, it's a blessing, man. We're good at picking winners over here, okay, Henry?
How many winners have you picked this season?
Okay, not too many yet. However, they often get deep. It's either second or winning it. I think I picked 3 winners so far, 3 or 4, and then Nanonoko picked 4 or 5.
Okay, all right. Yeah, but Nano keeps picking the chip leader every time, right?
Yeah, okay, not every time. Sometimes he gets adventurous when, like, if it's Michael Adamo could make it to the final table with like 2 big blinds, which is not possible because they roll back the blinds. But the bare minimum, he could make it with 4 or 5 big blinds, and then I would still pick Michael Adamo. He absolutely loves that man.
I got a lot of time for Michael. He's also a really nice guy as well. Just always super calm, super chill, very humble.
Could get a limp jam here, right? If Elio Fox decided to get creative, but Elio Fox does not raise it up, so Ottomar Latva is forced in a similar spot to the one he had earlier with the pocket tens when he was battling Niklas.
Yeah, Latva's been playing close to a limp only strategy from the small blind, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's actually just been pure limp. You see a lot of people take different approaches to their small blind strategy. And I think Ladvo will definitely be balanced enough to not just play exclusively limps, but it does simplify things a lot.
Queen 5 just called. Elio Fox, I know you just won a lot of chips with the kings against the ace jack of Thomas Muehloecker, but can you explain that call to me on the turn, Henry?
Yeah, I mean, Queen High is going to be good some of the time. Having a 5 is not great, I guess, just because you want Ladva to have hands like 5-4, 6-5, 8-5, you know, all of these hands that just like stab. Wouldn't be shocked to see him call this off here. I mean, if Queen High is good on the turn, then Queen High is good on the river, right?
Well, let's see if Elio Fox agrees with that logic. You don't think there is a chance that he does something wild like raise? Yeah, I felt that raise was coming a little more often here than just a call. I do think that Ottomar Latva is gonna. Wow, this is a big race to be fair, man. Holy smokes! Makes it 9 big blinds, and Ottomar lets go of the 8s. And Xvang is showing Ottomar Latva that perhaps was a mistake, as he had a deuce as well. Wow, sick play by Elio on the river there. Well done.
Old school gets it done again. These old school guys, man, they're sometimes blockers, game theory, all of that stuff. Nah. All right, just The classic movie rounders, right? Sometimes you just have to look at the guy in the eyes, man, and click the raise button.
We've got nines and queen 10 suited. Queen 10 suited in the small blind. Let's see how X-Bang decides to play it against his fellow Estonian at this final table. Apparently, Nano picked 5 winners in 21 weeks, and I've picked 3 winners. He is up to 24 points. I'm at 13.4, so I've got a bit of catching up to do, but with 31 weeks to go, I am not worried, Henry. I'm not going to lose a prediction game to Nanonoko.
All right, man. I'll check back in with
Oh,
you.
wow. Okay. Let's see what Ultimar Lotva decides to do here. Snap calls leaves 646 chips behind. That's the smallest amount I've seen in a long time. X-Bang needs a queen or a 10 on the river, or he will be eliminated in 5th place. It's not a queen. It's not a 10. A 6 is safe. So Ultimar Lotva keeps Henry's dreams alive of making some money when it comes to final table betting tonight. And we are down to 4. I said 6th place, but I obviously meant 5th place. There's 4 players left.
Come on, Latva. Get it done. We need another double, though.
Marky Aurelio currently has a set in his hands. It's
Yeah,
possible
good.
to have a
See,
set pre-flop.
A rare 4-way flop here.
Yeah. King Jack is the kind of hand to just make a call here, right? Makes the call, and somehow Elio Fox is the one who flops strip 6s.
Elio just loving life at the moment.
Thomas Muehloecker has a gut shot. Marky Aurelio has a full house on the turn, but he just doesn't know that yet. Ooh. Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. That's brilliant.
So, somehow got to see the turn, though. Couple of spicy river cards, right?
Yeah, I mean, very disguised straight possible for Muehloecker, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And a seamless, seemingly irrelevant 4 on the river would obviously be a bit of an action card.
Muehloecker, let's go of the gut shot. Ultimar, let's go of King High. And Marky, let's go of the pocket force. So Elio wins another one. Chips up all the way to 4.9 million. It's been a roller coaster of a night for Elio, man. At first, it's like it's going good. Then it was a disaster. And now it's just going pretty damn amazing again.
Still a long way to go. I mean, 70k big blinds. There's what, 11, 15 mil in play. So average stack is like 50 bigs, 200 bigs in play.
That was a big one. It was a 1 million guaranteed, but we had 158 entries this week. I guess a lot of the big boys have made it home from Vegas and started playing again.
Oh yeah, no days off. These guys.
Hashtag never skip a Sunday.
They're saying if you call it out enough times, it will happen eventually. It will, and then we'll clip it, and then we'll take it out of context and state that we only get it right. And we'll ignore the 15 times that we actually got it wrong.
Of course.
That's how it works. 200
Absolutely,
IQ
mate.
commentary tactics right there.
Absolutely. Nobody remembers the times that you were wrong.
Yeah,
Only
exactly.
when you call out the 4 on the turn and it
That's
rolls
it.
off.
That's it, man.
Wow. Elio Fox makes the call with ace 7. Still is just playing ace high here. Thomas Muehloecker already had 2 pair, but now he improves to an actual 2 pair.
Excuse me, by the way, chat. It is almost 3:30 in the morning. Apologies if I yawn. I'm still extremely engaged with this.
5 weeks ago, or 4 or 5 weeks ago, there was a day that Nanonoko apparently was not able to get any sleep whatsoever.
Yeah.
And the show starts incredibly early for him. And he legitimately was falling asleep. Whereas
Really?
I could just see,
Bless
I
him.
could see his head going down. I was like, no aces. And he's like, poor dude. Apparently, just couldn't get any sleep whatsoever. His daughter
How
was
old's the
keeping him
baby?
up. I mean, at this point, I'd say maybe, 2? A year and a
Okay.
half, 2?
Yeah,
I
very
have no
young.
idea.
Yeah, keeping him up, bless him. I say bless him. Like this is the guy, right, that used to, you know, just play all the tables for as many hours as possible. So you think you have gas in the tank, but hey, becoming a parent catches up with you, right? Apparently.
Yeah, I think Nano still got it. One day, maybe they allow him to play again from Australia. I'm pretty sure we'll see Nano spice things up over at GGPoker and be a lot of fun. Ottomar decides to bet the queen 7 here, and Marky Aurelio lets go of another tiny pocket pair. I gotta say, we haven't seen a whole lot of sets today. I think the only one who made a set was X-Bang with his 6s, and and I guess Thomas Muehloecker flop top set with the 10s, but yeah.
That's my favorite hand of the night so far. Oh no, that's not true. There was
the 4s, the Jack 10 and the 4.
Some outrageous stuff going on.
Marky calling here with ace 10 offsuit from the small blind. Tomorrow Lotva has queen 8 offsuit in the big blind. Let's see what he decides to do. Also makes the call and flops trip 8s. Hello there. Feels like tonight is a good night to just call from the big blind, Henry. They've been hitting those flops.
Such an awkward spot for Marky at the ace of clubs. Like ace 10 is going to be good a bunch of the time, especially against Thomas's button range. Got a player behind to worry about.
Yeah,
but yeah, awkward spot, but I can't say I blame him floating here, especially with the ace of clubs.
If he didn't have the ace of clubs, I think he'd let's go of it immediately. Then he can't be bothered. But once you see those back doors, you can't unsee them. That's what we say here every single Tuesday. Altamar says, thank you very much, guys. Let's bump it up a little bit with trip 8s. Does not want to see another club roll off on the turn or any scare card. Even another king would be pretty damn annoying. Don't think he's going to get any more action here, but still wins a decent size spot.
Yeah, he's like, thank you for the 257K, boys. I'll take that. Up to 3 mil. 40 bigs and a dream. Plenty in the tank.
He's 8. King, queen offsuit in the small blind 4-handed.
I'm just going to put it out there. If my 11-1 shot comes in, first time I'm here, yeah, I demand to be invited back next week to try and pull out another one. Yeah. So,
we'll let you predict, okay? We'll make it the official Henry prediction. But even though Nanonoko is always mean to me, no one can replace Nanonoko on the Tuesday. I am just a lonely man without my Nano. Elio Fox with the 7-3 of diamonds here in the small blind. We have 1 or 2 more hands to go before we enter the second break of the night. For the people who was wondering where I was going with the story about the clock earlier, the TLDR is that if you run out of time bank, you'll have 5 seconds until an emergency shot clock starts running. If you still have not made any action after those 5 seconds, so 10 seconds in total, your hand will be folded immediately. And honestly, things get a bit stressful when you see a red shot clock ticking down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I've seen calls in the past, Henry, that you won't believe anyone would ever make, but pressure do gets to them.
interesting spot here. Queen, yeah, just gives it up. Just lets it go.
Jacks for Ottomar. Man, Ottomar has such a steady, almost never-ending upswing tonight. Like, he doesn't win the monster pots. He's just been slowly but steady, creeping his way towards the top. And he doesn't even have that much less than Elio Fox at this point. It's been another, no matter what happens here with the Final Four, it's been another good performance by Ottomar Lotva.
Yeah, very solid and very consistent. Somewhat out of line in real life, but very good at the tables. That's all that matters.
Oh, I was surprised you told me that, because that's not the vibe I was getting from him at all. When I see his profile, I see that he's a chess grandmaster. Then I see him play some super solid poker at these final tables. I was like, man, this seems like the most reasonable dude of all time. But
Dude, you've seen the Queen's Gambit. Chess players like to get down as well, you know.
All right. That is going to do it for our second hour. We hope you guys are enjoying the show so far. I am very happy to be joined by Henry tonight after Nano couldn't make it. If you guys do like the show, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't done that yet. And we'll see you in 4 minutes and 40 seconds for the third hour of Week 21, Season 2.
Hi, I'm the new Daniel Negreanu, and I'm the old Daniel Negreanu. We both represent online poker sites, we both love Hold'em. I mean, we're basically the same person. Absolutely, man. I used to love watching you play, the way you would read people, call out their hands, and then, of course, call anyway. Oh, stop. I'm blushing. But old Daniel, man, I gotta ask, man, what's up with this look you got going on here? You tired or something? Yeah, I'm tired. I'm tired of all these freaking beats I've been taking. It's freaking ridiculous. Look at this motherfucking hand. This motherfucker's calling the freaking turn with this piece of hand. Freaking absurd. Whatever. I don't even know why I'm so upset. I mean, bad beats, they're just part of the game, right? I mean, they don't really have to be. You see that? I took a bad beat, then GG Care took care of some of my losses. Hashtag, thanks GG. You think maybe I could borrow that laptop and play a little while? No, definitely not. Just say GG to that site you're playing on over there. You just think you're so clever. Nope, just a good read. GG, poker star.
Elkie was waiting to come back to the final table.
Fedor holds things. Oh my God.
Michael Adamo is the best.
Welcome back to the third hour of week 21, as we are down to 4. Thomas Muehloecker is still our chip leader, but Elio Fox is nearby. And Otmar Lotva is continuing his never-ending upswing in life, period.
What do you get up to on breaks, Roy? What's the GTO commentator break looking like? Is there some yoga poses being thrown around in the office? What's going on?
I'd love to tell you that I'm running up and down the stairs and squeezing in 100 push-ups, but that would just be a lie, mate. I'll walk around a little bit. I get some water. And that's kind of it. That's a spicy turn card, by the way. Elio Fox still has top pair, but Thomas Muehloecker has a straight flush draw.
Oh, don't do it. Don't do it. It's a big boy bet as well from Muehloecker. See Elio never going anywhere on this turn.
Probably not on that river either, as he makes a full house. Not the nuts, of course. We don't have a jack. We don't have pocket kings, but we're pretty happy with that run out.
Yeah, you know, Rotty, there's so many like luck factors involved in poker where you have like winning flips, opponents being in certain parts of their range where, you know, they have to bluff. And then you have runouts like this, you know, where it could get really tough on certain rivers and you just get the perfect river, you know?
And look at this bet, by the way, betting 2 big blinds on the river. And Thomas Muehloecker says, nope, I'm not even going to give you that much, mate. Take it. Pocket 4s, by the way, again, for Thomas Muehloecker. Elio Fox is our chip leader once more, as he's got pocket 7s in the small blind after Marky Aurelio opens things up with ace-5 of diamonds. This could play out in so many different ways, by the way.
Yeah, I don't see Elio getting this in pre here. I'd be very surprised if he decides to just run it for 24. But don't get me wrong, for chips, it's absolutely fine. Gonna get folds as well. Yeah, you can get to fold out, you know, it has like King Jack, King 10, Ace 9, Ace 10, as well as Ace 5.
Elio has been aggressive tonight, man. I actually haven't seen him be this aggressive in the past. He obviously has moves, but tonight he's firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, it just keeps rolling the old 93 on the randomizer.
What's special about the number 93?
It's just a high number.
Okay.
It wasn't anything particular. It's like any number over 90, you're just taking the aggressive line, right? So
So Muehloecker now down to 4.8. Obviously nothing to be really concerned about, but I'm sure he's missing the days where he had 110 big blinds.
Yeah, still 200 bigs in play, right? I mean, I'm just shy of 15 million chips in play. Close to 16 million, actually.
Marky is getting a little creative here with the 9-3 of diamonds. Bumps it up, takes it down free. Well done, Marky Aurelio. I've honestly really enjoyed the way all 4 of them have played tonight. Obviously, Muehloecker made that cool call with the bottom end of the straight, the 4s earlier, and had plenty of good hands. But Marky Aurelio has been battling. Otmar Lotva is solid as always. And Elio Fox is just hyper aggressive throughout this entire final table.
It is been a ton of fun to watch. And you know what? It makes sense. Like if you look at Muehloecker and Elio's Hendon mobs, you just know they've met several times on the live felt. You know, they've felt each other out before over the years, and to see him do it 2021, a high stakes arena online, I love it.
Otmar Lotva flops mid pair here, has a couple backdoors. Speaking of backdoors, his mid pair now becomes an open ender. He does have the bottom end of it, but Muehloecker on the other end has the top end of it and still has top pair too. It's an annoying spot, right, for Otmar Lotva. What are you supposed to do here? Do you just call and pray for a 4 or something?
Yeah, just very standard check call. IMO. I don't really want to start turning third pair open ender into a bluff. Just has like too much showdown value. And
Another ace rolls off. The flush does get there. Ultima Lotva holds the 5 of spades, but doesn't do anything too wild with it. Thomas Muehloecker with trip aces. We'll just check it back. Wow. Showing some respect here. Actually a bit surprised about that one. You surprised to see that, Henry? Checking back trip aces on that board?
I've been surprised by a lot of things tonight, RotterdaM, to be honest with you, mate. It's one of those ones where it's really tough to get value from worse. So kind of open up the door for yourself to get put in the bin, value own yourself. So I don't mind leaning on the side of caution.
I've seen thinner value bets from these guys, though. I'll tell you that much.
Honestly, like 2 months ago, I was playing like quite a lot of poker. I haven't played in like 2 months, right? I haven't played any like volume in the last like 10 weeks or whatever. But I just kept valuing myself in so many spots, dude. It was because I hadn't played live in like a long time. And just so many spots, I'm just like, I'm supposed to go for value here, but like, and then after about like 3 sessions of playing live poker, it's like, I keep forgetting this is live poker, and these guys don't get to the river with worse than third pair, Henry. So stop valuing yourself, you know.
Thomas Muehloecker makes a 1 big blind bet on the river and gets called by ace high. Oh, there you go.
That.
There is a little bit of value for you, mate. Pair of threes.
That.
Now Thomas Muehloecker is a chip leader again. They've been tossing around the chip lead like a game of hot potato.
Yeah, it's interesting because, like, in theory, they don't really want to play too many hands against each other, first and second, obviously. We have Marky and Ladver, and that's what they do. Wow, Marky's taking the rejab spot. Love that.
What? The 10-8 of diamonds in the small blind. That's shortest stack. Mate, they're actually playing really fun poker tonight. This is sick.
Yeah, really like that. I mean, you get a bunch to fold, like Queen Jack, King Jack, even hands that have you dominated. Fold out some Jack 10, Queen 10, King 10. And we have enough equity, you know, against, we have decent equity against, you know, calling range. So really like seeing people take those spots.
Marky has top pair here. Elio Fox has a gut shot and obviously back to a spades, but it's only 10 high. Maybe see a turn.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
I won't say it. I know that a 9 would be brutal, but I won't say it. Well, let's see what Marky Aurelio decides to do here after Elio Fox decides to check raise him with just the gutter ball. Wouldn't be surprised if Marky just jams, man, and hope his ace is good.
I mean, we just have the best hand here all the time, or most of the time. So just letting Elio blast off with his gut shots and like close to zero equity type hands.
He does go for the all-in. Don't hate it. Just take it down. Pot was big enough. Marky chips up to 2.6 million. He's really here to fight tonight. He said Ultima Lotva once more is our shortest stack. Elio and Thomas Muehloecker will just keep battling, pretending they are already heads up. I don't think anything is going to stop them. And deuce flop might though. Don't think we're going to see too much action in this one.
These boys. I mean, every time it folds around to Elio, Muehloecker's in the big. You know, Marky and Ladfer just sat there like, oh, this could be it. This could be the the 40K ladder.
Yep. They're that guy from the Godzilla movie. Let them fight. As they lean back and hoping that one of them somehow wants to play for 6 million chips. Go all in.
Yeah, why not? I mean, they've shown that they don't mind playing big pots against each other.
See what Marky does with his 4-5 on the big blind.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me.
No worries,
Jesus.
mate. I know it's late. Every now and then, like I'm actually very happy that it's winter time here because then the show starts 1 hour earlier for me. But in the summertime, it actually starts somewhat late. And if you then have a particularly long episode, even I get tired around midnight sometimes, or like 30 minutes past midnight. So can't imagine what it's like for you guys at 4 or 5 a.m.
Whereabouts are you at the moment?
I am just in the Netherlands, mate, near
Okay.
Rotterdam.
That's honestly top 5 cities in the world.
Have you been to Rotterdam many times?
Yeah, it's probably my favorite European city outside of Paris.
All right. Production. I take everything back I said earlier. I want Henry back next week, okay? Because Nanonoko doesn't even know Rotterdam exists. He's like, is that a thing? Is that a city? I was like, jeez, Louise.
Yeah, I love Rotterdam. Spent a couple of New Year's there. I had friends that went to uni up in Leeuwarden.
Yeah.
So I spent a lot of I spent a lot of my like earlier years in Holland.
Nice pronunciation on the Leeuwarden, by the way. I'm impressed. Pretty good.
Actually, like very early stages of my poker career was spent in the Netherlands and up there playing in like uni games and whatnot. So that's how I built my role.
Sick. From the Dutchies, huh?
Yeah, I'm actually good friends with some well-known Dutch players that like I kind of met at that time as well.
Tomorrow Latva flops mid pair here. Helio Fox makes the call with King 7 because he saw a bunch of backdoors. He hits a pair on the turn. Interesting check, by the way, by Ottomar Latva. It does make the straight on the river. He's going to be happy to see that. Don't think he's going to get any chips out of Helio Fox, though. Maybe in a weird way, this would almost be a decent spot to check just because Elio has been so YOLO tonight.
Yeah, but then he needs to be turning pairs into bluffs, and that just doesn't make much sense. So you need him to have like 5-3, 5-4.
Yeah. All right. Elio just calls off with what is a fourth pair here. The King 7, fourth pair, calls off. Nice value bet there by Ottomar Latva. Mate, Elio's a maniac tonight. If you would tell me that he's playing this final table while enjoying a bottle of vodka, I would absolutely believe it. I don't think that's happening, but he's playing some wild poker tonight.
Loves it. Absolutely loves it.
See what Thomas Muehloecker decides to do with the ace-9 offsuit in the small blind. Let's it go. A lot of respect to Ottomar's opening this time around. Maki Aurelio meanwhile makes the call with Jack 6, but of course completing the action is a little different. I feel like tonight it could all four of them could still win, even if Marky is obviously the shortest of the bunch. He's one double up away through Thomas Muehloecker to actually becoming the chip leader as well. Still in the running. All four of them have been playing really well. Some of them have been playing a bit crazier than others, but it's anyone's game.
Yeah, it's a nice structure as well. Still like 50 big blind average at the table, so it's it really is anyone's game.
Muehloecker is going to raise it up with the Ducks. I think Ottomar will let it go. We are about to enter Nanonoko's favorite blind level. He would be very sad if I didn't point that out. It's the only level where he's able to calculate the big blinds. Could be some fireworks here with ace, queen suited and pocket threes.
Surely not. Surely not. When
It's
I mean,
Elio
it
Fox.
depends. What do you mean when you say fireworks? Just like pure jam from Fox?
No. That's not what I mean with fireworks. So it doesn't mean that some chips are going to fly through the air. We could potentially be playing a big pot, but I'm not talking about pre-flop all-ins by any means. This is not a firework flop, though.
If he had pocket fours, he would have flopped a set there, right?
100%. Unless he didn't need to. If there wasn't, if he had pocket four, he makes the call with pocket threes. I mean, somehow we're still getting some fireworks. It's now there's almost 1 million chips in the middle. Do you think Elio Fox lost his fold button tonight? Because the King 7 hand was a bit wild. But calling here with the threes as well at ace 8-7.
There's a bit of street poker being played, right? Our opponent slows down, potentially take it away on future streets. Also, you know, 3 is going to be good chunk at a time.
Is this the kind of board where Elio will get creative and pretend he's got a jack in his hand? No, not this time around. He will check it back. And we'll see if the Niels that he was beat all along.
Yeah, Ladford now tied with Elio as the blinds go up.
And I've learned throughout the night that that means absolutely nothing. Because Elio Fox could be at 8 million 2 hands from now, but he could also be out. So.
True. Very true.
Look at Thomas raising things up with my girlfriend's favorite hand.
Wow, sick brag. You have a girlfriend?
No, I don't. This is something I always say. No, mate, ultra single. I do not live the life in a villa in Thailand. It's a little harder to get people to come to Zuidland, you know? And like, where the hell is that?
Man. open. Oh, wow. GG's, Elio.
Oh.
It's nice having you. Unlucky, mate.
Unless the river is a 6. What about that?
Yeah, I mean, can run that well.
Thomas Muehloecker bets 500k with the 6 high straight. Elio Fox plays the bottom end of the straight with his ace of clubs. Makes the call. The river is the king of diamonds. So flushes do get there.
Could block. Doesn't. I guess blocking doesn't really achieve much with this hand, actually. I apologize, chat.
Mate, you don't have to apologize. You should hear the things Nanonoko and I say every Tuesday. Don't you dare to ever apologize for saying something like he could block, but then it doesn't make any sense. That's not what we do here, Henry. We say stupid things all the time, okay?
Yeah, try to, you know, like be somewhat technically sound, but I mean, it's 4 a.m. and let's be honest, I haven't won anything in a while, so yes.
All right. Elio Fox just makes the call, though, so he does not go broke. He does not get eliminated. As Thomas Muehloecker sized up to 1.5 million on the river. Elio does not do anything silly. Somehow still alive. We thought it was over, but he is the shortest of them all now. And it could be over this end as he's now playing 15 big blinds. He's just going to raise at this point. Marky Aurelio has him dominated with the ace queen.
In she goes. And Elio
Good fold. Good fold. Yeah. I thought he was maybe going to just open rip it, steaming a little bit of that previous hand. Don't think anyone would really fault him for it. 14, 15 bigs, but shows discipline, still alive, but obviously the shortest of the bunch at this point.
I wonder, I was going to say how Ladford proceeds, but
Makes the call here with 10-4 of hearts. Actually find that a bit funny with Elio Fox being dead short.
Yo, very easy.
So do you think Ottomar jams here?
Sorry, dude.
Oh, no worries. Do you think he could ever just jam here, Jack 8?
For chips, sure. Was it for 12? Not sure. Actually, I don't even know if for chips it's fine. It's probably say like Jack 10 is probably bottom.
Wow. And instead it's Elio Fox who just jams the queen 4. Queen high, small blind versus big blind. Elio thought it was good enough, and it was. Uh-oh. What the hell is this? Aces, king 10, and an ace 9 suited.
Wow,
Could be fireworks, Henry. Oh
It
my
has
God,
a good hand to do it with as well, you know.
this could be a monstrous hand. Let's see what Elio decides to do first with the king 10 in the small blind. Like Thomas Muehloecker might go crazy here, thinking that Ottomar Lotva can almost never call, right? He will just make the call with the ace 9 and he flops the not flush draw.
Wow. Elio would have flopped trip 10s.
Oh no, the king 10, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's pure pain too.
Oh, mate. You know he's in pain as well. Just sat there, things not going his way. Losing that huge hand against Muehloecker just a few hands ago. And
So Ottomar bets big here, right? Like maybe 400K or something, because that's what he did earlier when it goes check, check on the turn and he has aces. He just checks back. And Thomas Muehloecker actually makes the nut flush on the river. Oh.
it's really weird because like Ladva's checked twice. He does go for the overbet. Okay.
I guess we're just calling with aces.
Yeah. Never folding, right?
We are just calling, and Thomas Muehloecker wins this hand with the ace 9 of spades. But obviously, if Elio Fox would have jammed, there's a good chance that the ace 9 would have never played. Ooh, pocket 10s and pocket 4s once more. So many pocket 4s tonight. I mean, I'd feel really sad though if Ottomar Lotva loses a lot of chips here with the 10s. Let's see how Muehloecker decides to play his 4s from the small blind. Whoa!
It does. Yeah.
Okay. I think I call here, Henry. I honestly think I call here with the 10s. Like, I know there is a pay jump.
Sick.
Oh, he calls. Ottomar Lotva calls. And here we go. Pocket 4s. They say they always make a set, but Thomas Muehloecker really needs a set now. All 5 cards when he needs a 4 and a 4 only on the river. That's not a 4. Wow. Ottomar Lotva, such a gangster. He doesn't fold. ICM. Who cares, Henry? We are playing for the win. And the man is now second in chips once more.
Yeah. Super standard there from Muehloecker. And yeah, Ladva in an absolute ICM cage, obviously. But absolutely loving life when he just gets shown the 4s. Like it's not even like the queen jack or the king 10 or even like the ace 10. He just gets shown the pocket 4s, man. Love that.
I'd be very nervous going up against pocket 4s, but
I know you. Yeah, you would.
I'm kidding.
How it works.
Well done. I love the call as well. Like, we have seen players fold in similar spots in the past, and I hate to see it. Wow, he just jams the 9-10 here. And if Marky calls, we do actually flip. I mean, this is exactly the spot that you just mentioned.
Yeah.
Ottomar Lotva has 2 overs, and oh my God, what is that flop? Are you kidding?
Well,
at least Marky went from 2 outs to 3 outs, but that is not the 9 that he is looking for to make the straight. Ottomar Lotva eliminates Marky Aurelio. That means we're down to 3, and the man who has already won it twice in season 2 is now the chip leader, as we are down to 3, and Elio Fox is super short. He is ridiculous, Henry.
What a huge spot for Ladva. It's just kind of like you called it earlier on when they were 6-7 handed, just almost avoiding colliding with anyone else, right? It's just like slowly grinding away, chipping up, and yeah, just like that goes from 2-0 to chip leader. Back-to-back hands.
Takes down this one too with the 10 high flush draw. The odds for Ottomar Lotva to win tonight were 11.3, 2-1. And he is chip leading as we are entering the final 3. He's not there yet. We obviously know Thomas Muehloecker is an absolute beast. But Muehloecker has been a bit unlucky in these final tables. Ottomar, it's not even that he gets lucky. He's obviously incredibly good. But he also just makes sure that things go their way. He knows what it takes to win it. He's done it twice, and he could be our very first 3-time champion of season 2. And Nano is going to make so much fun of me if Ottomar Lotva wins and I didn't pick him for a side bet. Because I love him. I hype him up all the time. And then somehow I didn't pick him.
Just I win money on stream as well. Get my money back. And then some.
Okay. That's the part I was waiting for. I was like, if we're just getting the money back, I'm not too excited. By the way, spicy river card here. As Thomas Muehloecker makes the 8 high straight, Ottomar Lotva has the bottom end of the straight. Such a tiny bet.
B25, eh?
I mean, for one big blind, you almost want to raise if you do have a straight, but it is the bottom end of the straight. He does raise though, so Thomas Muehloecker gets some extra value. No, I think Latva will just fold now, right?
Yeah, some clicking wars going on here, boys and girls. As with 300k up top, nothing to see here.
Elio Fox is like, if I don't make a sound, maybe they bust each other. I'll get another page jump. Could be a good moment to go for it though. We have 11 big blinds. We have A6.
Yeah,
and he
GL.
is ahead. This
like
is going to chop. It's going to chop very often, but let's see if Elio Fox can get the double that he's looking for. Oh, he needs a jack or a 6 now. The man needs a jack or a 6 or he will be eliminated and we will enter our heads up. Could be a jack. Could be a jack. It's a queen. It is a queen and that's not good enough for Elio. And that means that he receives a little bad beat here. And we are entering our heads up. Thomas Muehloecker and Ottomar Lotva. The man who's won it 2 times versus the man who's made more final tables than anyone else in season 2, but hasn't won it yet.
Wow, what a statistic. Yeah, GG's Elio Fox, man. I mean, I feel like that's an absolute whirlwind of emotions for me. So can only imagine how he was feeling throughout that final table.
Great showing by Elio. He played very fun. He obviously played to win, showed a lot of heart, had some crazy plays. A very fun performance and a great performance overall by Elio Fox.
Yeah, 3rd place always hurts. But podium finish and 195k in the back pocket, you know?
And 1 bullet. Don't forget about that part.
There we go.
Hey, actually kind of funny that out of the 9 players, only 2 players fired more than 1 bullet. And those players were Ottomar Lotva and Thomas Muehloecker. And that somehow ended up being our heads up.
There we go. So the highest ROI of the day, Elio Fox. Give yourself a pat on the back, mate.
Ottomar Lotva flops bottom 2 pair here. A king on the turn, and this could become a very big pot.
You're just trying to, you just want to be that guy, don't you?
I mean, I love both of them, but I do kind of need some points on the board. I am concerned though, because obviously you can see the red numbers ticking every now and then for Thomas Muehloecker. I know he's a pro and I know he's done it all before. And you said it, it's a lot of muscle memory, but you know, you're still playing for almost $70,000 difference between first and second. And sometimes you do really wish you had a few seconds more because it feels like it goes by so quick when it's on you.
I mean, Ladfer's down to 34 seconds as well, but I guess Ladfer, wow.
Oh. We didn't get our king on the turn, but we did get our king on the river. Let's see how big this spot becomes. It's obviously a pretty scary board for the bottom 2 pair, but it's still bottom 2 pair and heads up.
A sick river card. Needed a king or an ace.
What do you think he bets? I was thinking pot size bet as well. 1.4 million, snap called by Thomas Muehloecker. And he will receive the news that his king 4 is good on the river. That's a big one. 4.2 million chips heading his way.
Yeah, it came in pretty level. And I mean, in the space of just, what, 1 hand, 2 hands of heads up. 2-1 chip lead now.
Is it finally happening? Is the 10th time the charm for Thomas Muehloecker?
See, I don't know what I care about more, me winning money or you winning the bet against Nanonoko.
You should care more about you winning because I will win the bet against Nanonoko anyway. And I am a big fan of Ottomar Lotva, but I also think it would be nice for Thomas Muehloecker after making all these final tables to finally win a high roller Super Millions.
That's true.
Bottom 2 pair for Thomas. Ottomar Lotva has a gut shot. He needs a 5. Full house for Thomas Muehloecker.
Does not want to hit it. 5 would be a disgusting river card.
Yes. Now you're that guy. I didn't want to do it anymore, but
Yeah, true. Let's get to that stage for the night.
you need to call right now. Okay, yeah. If he wouldn't act in time, his hand would be snap folded, and that obviously I've seen it before. Somebody folded kings once because he ran out of time and he tried to figure out the sizing and folded king. Yeah, it's pure pain. Huh?
Oh, that's
brutal.
painful.
Ace 9, 45 big lines on the side of the Estonian 2-time champ. Thomas bumps it up. Ottomar lets it go. Only 10 seconds indeed as well. Yeah, you said it before. Goes by so quick. I don't think I've ever seen a heads up where both players have no time bank left. It's actually never happened before.
See how Ladver approaches this heads up match. I mean, they're at a stack depth where we shouldn't really be playing too many limps. Should just be raising our button pretty much. Are we RFI?
Ottomar Lotva hopes that Thomas Muehloecker has something real here. He's probably going to bump it up, but not make it like ultra big, you know, just make it a bit bigger and be like, come on, Thomas, come over the top. Jam your ace 5, but that ain't happening.
What do you think the final hand of the night's going to be, Rotty? Are you thinking like all in pre flip situation, or is it going to be some? I mean, we've had some hero calls tonight. We've had some insane post flop hands. So
yeah, I mean the blinds are not as high yet as they often are when we enter heads up. So there is a chance that it's just an actual hand of poker, but I think it truly depends on how the next, let's say, 10 minutes go. It could very well just be a flip though, because Thomas Muehloecker is pretty aggressive, and Ottomar Lotva will go with his instinct and his gut if he thinks his hand is good. So I actually think we're gonna flip pre, even if the blinds are not that high yet. But I think it's gonna be a pre-flop all in, and Thomas Muehloecker will get lucky.
Dude, it's like 70 bigs effective, 60 bigs effective. Oh, sorry, no, yeah, 60 big blind average. My bad. In desperate need of some shut eye.
Oh, that's a funny card on the turn. Thomas Muehloecker once more makes 2 pair. Ottomar Lotva now has an open-ended straight draw. Will he bet it? It's a pure one as well.
It's a good card for Ladver's range as well. Love the check from Muehloecker. Yeah, just giving him some rope.
Thomas needs to act real quick. He only has 4 seconds. Thomas, do not time out. Thomas Muehloecker goes all in. And Ottomar Lotva will snap fold.
That time bank is getting my heart rate up, dude.
Yeah, I know, mate. I'd be so sad to see him like fold a 2 pair or something.
Can you imagine like where, you know, accidentally folding in a spot like that? That's huge.
It happens time and time again. That's why I mentioned it a little while ago, even when he still had 35 seconds left.
Yeah, that's
a big deal. Sometimes because, you know, some of these guys, they're playing on their laptop and they're trying to figure out the sizing. And by the time they figure it out, their hand is dead. Ace deuce. You think? Is he jamming? He is jamming. Thomas, sicko. Doesn't care. 24 big blinds on the side of Ottomar Lotva at this point.
Came in even just 10, 15 hands ago.
How's it going over there in Austria, Thomas Muehloecker? Is everything feeling all right tonight? He's been smashing these flops. Oh, poor Ottomar Lotva makes the call. Praying for a 10. No 10s to be found.
It's time back thing.
Ottomar gets creative here. It's GG, but it's not. We are moving on. Thomas Muehloecker is extending his lead. Now has a 5-1, almost a 6-1 chip lead.
Yeah, we're in that fun territory as well. Rotti saying, just all in pre. And, wow,
Mate, what the hell is this? Oh my goodness. I could beat Ottomar Lotvan heads up if I run like this. I'll tell you that much. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, this is the part of poker where you just feel like you're getting battered. I'm sure Ladva's either got the stream or he's got people telling him, giving him feedback, but he's had it. He's had it, Ladva.
Does flop top pair here. So this should be a hand where things will be all right for Ottomar Latva. Thomas Muehloecker will bet.
Yeah, 5 on the turn. Make it interesting.
He's using his last time as well. Ace of clubs rolls off on the turn, but I don't think Ottomar Latva is too worried about it since Muehloecker has been jamming so many hands. There's a chance that if he had an ace or a good ace, would have already gone for it. Don't see Ottomar Latva going anywhere here.
Yeah, the rare 0 equity barrel. Yes, you see more of those, more frequent and heads up play.
I think Thomas will give up. Yeah, he knows. He's like, he's not going to fold anymore. 1.4 behind, 1.6 in the middle. Let's go. So Ottomar Latva finally wins a hand. Could win another one here.
I believe. Let's end the commentator's curse. You picked Muehloecker, right?
Yes, I have picked Muehloecker.
Oh, there we go. Okay. So we got 2 of our boys in the mix. Commentators.
And I mean, I like both players a lot, so to me, it doesn't matter too much who wins. May the better man win. It's just that Nano is going to make fun of me for not picking my favorite player when he comes to a final table, and had 11-1 as well, which would have actually pushed me ahead of Nanonoko in our side bet, but it's all good. Obviously it looks bad right now as he's down 4-1, but we have seen some outrageous comebacks in the last 70. Like I had Michael Adamo had like a 16 million to 1.5 million chip lead a few times. We've seen other players having like 18 million versus 1 point something and still not being able to win. Like things can change so quickly in that stuff. 9-1, 10-1. I've seen it all. Wait, never celebrate too early.
how many of these have you done? 70?
Around 70, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I never skip a Tuesday. Actually, I missed 2. And this is actually the very first time ever that Nanonoko is not available. So that's kind of insane. I guess COVID times helps that he doesn't go anywhere, but he's been here each and every single Tuesday since we started.
I mean, what are you going to do on a Tuesday anyway, man? Like, it's like a day off. Why not fire up a stream, do some commentary?
One hand here. Thomas Muehloecker flops a pair of queens and has the 9 high flush draw. Ottomar Latva flops top pair. Let's see how he decides to play his king 3. Oh, come on.
Wow. Okay. This could be yeah, it could be GG's here. I mean, SPL 7 on the turn, but fancy like a pot size bet from Muehloecker. So it goes for half pot.
The 5 of clubs doesn't change anything.
Yeah, it's the clean run out as well, like everything bricks.
It's like a setup, man. Because like the last thing, I don't want to say the last thing you worried about was another queen, but I do think Ottomar will make the call here. Or yeah, he makes the call. Can't fault him, can't blame him. Probably wondering how often do you really have trips? And Thomas Muehloecker is like, well, every time, mate.
Yeah, this is pretty unreal RNG. Heads up. last I heard, Rossi, it's difficult to make a pair.
Oh, this could be it, mate. We have the open ender on the side of Ottomar Latva, and Thomas Muehloecker flops mid pair and a flush draw because he's Thomas Muehloecker.
With these time banks as well, it can be very difficult.
Mate, this is actually kind of sad for Ottomar Latva. The man just... He's not allowed to win this by the poker gods, apparently.
Yeah. Muehloecker with the check mark on the turn.
At least he didn't make it straight. At least not a deuce of spades rolled off on the river or something, because that would have been absolute pain. Thomas with the overbet, 7 high flush. Nothing that Ottomar Latva can do. Somehow just didn't lose any more chips, which I actually find kind of impressive.
Oh, this is going in.
Yeah, 10-9 of spades.
Maybe
He's
not.
gonna raise it up. Ottomar Latva can obviously and should jam the king queen offsuit here. He will jam. Muehloecker makes the call, so here we go. 4 million chips in the middle. King queen versus 10-9.
You already know. Do we? I mean, it just feels like it's covered, man.
It does feel like it's coming, but okay, it's not coming. King queen holds, and Ottomar Latva is back to 4 million chips. I was with you. I absolutely felt. I thought he was gonna smash it like 2 pair.
Yeah. There's no way he's winning this.
Yeah.
It should be fun though. Should see a flop here, even if.
Oh, hello there. Open-ended straight flush draw for Ottomar Latva. Perhaps the tables have turned a little. Watch him brick, right? Run out Jack or something. No heart. Yeah. Muehloecker, let's go. Ottomar wins another one. It ain't over till it's over. Oh, well, hello there. Ace-10 offsuit and pocket queens. Are we gonna run it for all the chippies pre-flop, Henry?
Yeah, I mean, it's heads up, dude. Good luck, boys. It's been an absolute pleasure watching both of these boys battle it out, navigate their ways to heads up. And well,
wow,
I mean,
he calls. Okay. Well, ace of clubs, backdoor clubs is live. Ottomar Latva will bet here. Obviously has 2 overs to the board too. You think Muehloecker raises it up here and wants to play for all of it now?
you're trying to go for all of it.
I mean, if Ottomar Latva thinks he's up against like any 8 or any random pair, and obviously just send it, he will just make the call and does pick up the nut flush draw on the turn, but he still needs some help. 4 million chips in the middle. I mean, all in and call.
How do you feel about like lead jamming and having some fold equity?
I think it'd be okay, but I also don't think it ever really works. Thomas Muehloecker goes all in with the queens. Ottomar Latva makes the call. He needs an ace or a club on the river, or it's all over.
Wow.
The 5 is no bueno. Thomas Muehloecker finally gets the job done in the high roller super millions. He came in as chip leader. Was a bit of a roller coaster, but he gets the W in week 21 of season 2. The man has made more final tables than anyone else in season 2. And he played some good poker tonight, Henry, didn't he?
He definitely did. Yeah, coming in chip leader to get the win as well always feels good, especially against that lineup. What a tough final table.
Absolutely had to work for it. We had a couple of crazy hands. I mean, obviously, the first one we have to mention, other than the 2 guys that made it to heads up, is Elio Fox. He gave us all the fireworks tonight. He was involved in some wild pots.
Yeah, some street poker being played by Elio, and that definitely adds a certain level of spiciness to the action at the final table. And I appreciate it as well, you know, from an entertainment point of view. Having someone like Elio just getting in the mix and playing big pots. Love that. Really love that.
Yeah. And Marky Aurelio as well, right? Our Brazilian representative at this final table. He was here to play. He made things pretty spicy.
Always a Brazilian flag at the final table, dude. Wouldn't have it any other way.
And of course, I mean, at the end of the show, we always summon up a couple of hands. We talk about some of our favorite hands. We have to talk a little bit about that crazy hand that Niklas Astedt had much earlier tonight with Thomas Muehloecker. The ace-king offsuit against the tens. Thomas flopping top set. I mean, if you look at it like this, throughout the entire night, Thomas played great, but he ran pretty good too.
Yeah, so obviously running that you have top of range, and you then all of a sudden get given 3 million chips, and now you have like an insane chip lead in a very ICM heavy situation. It's just like push people around. It's yeah, it's the way the game works sometimes. I'm curious to look at that spot, by the way. I'm gonna look at it. I'll text you the results once I've woken up.
Of course, mate. I know it's very late for you, and I guess that is going to do it. Dan, did you have a good time joining me at the High Roller Super Millions?
I did, man. I did, and just to say, my favorite hand was the Jack 10 against the pocket fours. That was wild, and I've had a ton of fun. And yeah, I really, like I said, really enjoyed your energy, mate. You've definitely made it a ton of fun. And yeah, shout out to everyone that kept us company for the entire night.
Very well said. Obviously, all the best to Nano and his little girl, as Nano's daughter was a bit sick over the previous few days. We do believe that things are going better, so there's no need to be ultra concerned, hopefully. But Nano was just a little low on sleep, and that's why he decided to sit this one out. Thank you, Henry, for joining me tonight. Thanks to everyone for tuning in to the High Roller Super Millions, and we'll be back same time, same place next week. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't done that yet, and have a good night, morning, or afternoon, wherever you may be. Bye-bye.
Elke was waiting to come back to the final table.
Fedor holds things. Oh my God.
Michael Adamo is the best.